Am I good? I think I'm good. I should be, at least. If I'm not, then I'm gonna look like an idiot. But it is what it is. Actually, I should be able to check, no? It should tell me if I'm... It says connect streaming software to go live. Nah, I think I should be alright, though. Okay. Alright. Let me just verify real quick and see if on my YouTube it says I'm live. View channel. Yes. Okay. I'm good. Wait, I have to watch it to make sure. Yep. Okay. I'm good. Alright, Turkey Tom. The title of the video is From Autism to Alcoholism. It's about Josh Block's descent into madness. I don't know who Josh Block is, but Turkey Tom always does a really good job with his documentaries. If you don't know who Turkey Tom is, you have to go check him out. He's great. But let me switch over to... There we go. Okay. Jesus.
This is Joshua Block. If you don't already know him, you'd be forgiven for thinking he just escaped from a mental asylum. However, he's actually a very popular content creator, with his World of T-Shirts TikTok account boasting 2.6 million followers. A man of many talents.
It's always kind of like fun to learn about like these other depths of the internet that I have no idea about, because this guy has 2 point something million on Insta, which is, I mean, pretty impressive, but like, ew, look at him. How? What does he do?
Standing in the public consciousness through hard work and shrewd hustling. At least that's probably what he believes.
Hard work and hustling?
The truth is that Joshua may be the only person who takes himself even slightly seriously. Ever since his unorthodox jump to stardom, he's worked overtime to erode every bit of goodwill his initial fans may have had for him, be it due to his violent outburst against a fish, the fact that many people take issue with him charging fans for...
Did he just G-stomp a fish, bro? Wait.
Jump to stardom. He's worked overtime to erode every bit of goodwill.
There's no way.
May have had for him, be it due to his violent outburst against a fish, the fact that people take issue with him charging fans for photos, or having a smidge too much love for the bottle. This has resulted in him securing an audience hell-bent on seeing him completely self-destruct. But how did it come to this? What's the story behind the...
That's what the dangerous thing is about like having an actual audience that like you have to commit to on any social media platform, is like you can let them control your life. Like, how do you have an audience that's actively pushing you to alcoholism, bro?
Downfall of TikTok's newest workout.
This guy looks lame. And please understand that you can also be rich and lame. He just looks lame.
If you're one to believe websites like Wikitubia and Know Your Meme, you'll find
Wikitubia.
that Joshua uploaded his first ever video on September 22nd, 2020. And in fact, you'll see this repeated in multiple other places. But the story of Joshua and his channel go back further than that, all the way back to June of 2019.
Big boy, steak, egg, and cheese.
Started uploading videos. For a while, he would continue uploading them to minimal views.
Philly cheesesteak, I'm tweaking.
Fun, until he finally got his big break in October of that year, which was a video of him eating crickets.
Yo, exotic food check.
It was with this initial success that the starstruck Joshua began to take TikTok much more seriously. You see, ever since he was rather young, Josh had always dreamed of being self-employed, and he realized that TikTok was his golden ticket to boss mode. He would go on to do everything in his power to capitalize on this in the short term, to very mixed success, with a lot of his videos from then to September 2020 getting 4-digit views. But despite the low amount of attention, the few popular uploads he did have would be enough for him to slowly build a niche community, drawn to the channel by his bizarre behavior. The best example of this is definitely his lip sync videos, which were some of his most popular content at the time. Take this one, in which he mouths the lyrics of My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Except, mouthing may not be the right term here, as a more apt description might be that he's flapping his jaw like an upside down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that doesn't even look like...
Or take this example, where he laments the terribleness of the year 2020 by lip syncing Happy New Year by Studio 99. Both of these demonstrate a rather peculiar quality of Josh.
Yeah, I don't...
could be argued to have been the initial...
Why is this entertaining to anybody?
Distinct lack of facial expressions. In the second video, despite talking about the death of someone important enough to him to make a whole TikTok out of it, he remains completely deadpan, with his eyes barely even moving throughout. It didn't take a genius
serial
to
killer
that there was
vibes.
something special about Josh, from his odd mannerisms to his very stilted delivery. delivery. This resulted in most of the growing fan base being composed of people who just made fun of him, seeing him in the same light as any other TikTok lolcow. But that was all Josh needed, and as his notoriety slowly increased, his videos would start getting a fair bit more views, with numerous uploads getting in excess of 100K hits, and some of them even got 200K. Staying
because
true
he's
to his
weird?
form, these were extremely varied, everything from videos about the pandemic to random goofs to even more.
Well, you should never be just solely following a content creator specifically because you hate them. Why would you consume content you don't like on purpose? Like, I don't
For
know.
lip syncs. Of course, while it's easy for us to see that his main draw was the fact he was basically a laughingstock, it doesn't really seem Josh had caught on to that fact, because as he became more and more popular, he began looking for other avenues of potential growth. This would lead to him creating a YouTube channel by the name of World of Interviews on April 8th, 2020. Nothing's really known about this channel, as the only things you'll find on it are 2 videos with our titular hero. One of them is a short where he introduces us to what the channel is all about.
Welcome to World of Interviews.
World
a
of
YouTube
Interviews.
channel where we do podcast
Never heard of 'em.
interviews with famous TikTokers.
Oh,
Discover your favorite celebrities today.
The second
Ew.
video is a
9.6K views with only 204 subscribers is pretty impressive. I can't lie. But you should check on the Bagel Bites soon.
5-minute interview with the man himself, conducted by some random person who I haven't actually found anything about at all. The video reveals some interesting facts. For one, Josh shares with us that he had first downloaded the TikTok app in 2019 and that he had started uploading on it around August. He mentions how by September he fell in love with TikTok, and by October he became TikTok famous in his own words. He also went on to share with us that he had 240,000 followers at this point in
TikTok
time. He then
famous.
says he's in the top 10,000 on famous birthdays.
Being TikTok famous is, I don't know, man.
Which, as far as I can tell, is correct. When asked what exactly he owes this success to, he credits the fact that his uploads tend to be varied, as opposed to, you know, the actual reason people were watching him, which seems to be completely
Just
over
to
his
make
head.
fun of
I
him.
do variety videos.
Mm.
Most people on the app only stick to one thing.
That's
Throughout
true.
the interview, he presents
Blood,
the YouTube
Blood said, "Listen, I got variety. Okay, I'm more than just a one-trick pony. I'm out here doing different types of content, bro."
channel is a guaranteed
Talk
cash
your shit.
cow. Planning to use his TikTok success and the success of other large TikTok creators he would interview to launch his YouTube channel into orbit. There wasn't much more to the interview besides the fact he once again mentions how he's still in high school at this point. For context, he was born August 7th, 2001, which would have made him 18 years old. We'll get deeper into the implications of this a bit
Wait, he could be a senior, right? Or
later, but keep that tucked in your noggin. This concludes
Okay.
with a few more
I'll keep it
TikToks
tucked
made
in
by
the noggin.
Joshua, which are about the same quality as you would expect, with his signature still to delivery. Overall, the whole
Turn it
video
up a
was
little bit.
pretty boring, which is enough of an explanation for why it never really took off. Besides
Got you.
being confused on whether the interview was shot by Joshua or the interviewer, most people were far more interested in the mysterious figure standing in Joshua's doorway in the first half of the video. Questions about it were
Wait,
completely unanswered for
what
the
the
time
hell?
being. Regardless, the channel was very quickly abandoned for reasons that should be obvious enough to anyone. But that didn't mean he was done experimenting with content. In September of 2020, he would once again attempt to diversify his audience by creating a secondary TikTok account called the Starbucks Club, which in his own words was a channel meant purely for people who drank Starbucks, as explained
Okay.
thoroughly across the first 3 videos on his channel. While the channel definitely had more of that unique Joshua flair than the YouTube, it seems he would abandon it pretty quickly after not finding success.
Okay, so for the past 5 minutes, we've just described how this guy has not found any success at all on like pretty much any of his accounts. So how is he famous? I'm so
Joshua
confused.
is extremely familiar with the sunk cost fallacy. But there was some good news. While the side projects were a miserable failure, the World of T-Shirts channel was doing pretty well. So Josh continued to upload on it consistently. But at this point, he was still quite unknown, with his fan base being very insulated. All of this would change on the hallowed day of September 22nd, with the upload of a quaint little video in which he mouths the lyrics to some parody song, staying true to form by looking like the main character of Ride to Hell Retribution. Now, this video is actually not that remarkable in terms of views, as at this point, he would be getting 200,000 views pretty regularly. But it does serve as a
Oh, actually, if he was getting like 200K regularly, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, he's making decent income at least. Unless it's on TikTok. That's not that much on TikTok, I think.
split off point between obscurity and his sudden rise to fame. Because you see, at this point, the sky was the limit for our friend with the steely gaze, and he started uploading hundreds upon hundreds of videos to his TikTok channel every single month, with a number of them scoring very solid views, including this oddball duet where he humorously judges an obvious joke TikTok. But the real difference came as September ended, when he finally broke the 200,000 view roof he had been confined to for so long, with an upload on the 2nd of October. This video was dedicated to enlightening his viewers about the fact facts that pandemics happen roughly every 100 years, listing a couple of plagues going about 300 years back, and managing to act.
Yeah, bro, when that whole like anti-vax thing started, it got me so mad because it really shows exactly how uneducated people are and how how ignorant people can really like win over smart people at times. People were like, oh, acting as if coronavirus was like this new phenomenon, as if a pandemic was this new phenomenon, saying that the government is trying to enforce its power over us. We literally declared a state of emergency for influenza, which is now the common flu, okay, which we now have a vaccine / antidote-ish type thing for, that you can take a shot on a yearly basis. So I didn't know why people freaked out so much when COVID happened and they were trying to take all these measures to make sure people stayed safe. Like you're acting like all of a sudden things have changed when it's been like this throughout history. We're talking about for centuries.
Actually get 2 million views for this informative piece. Just a few days later, however, he would go on to beat this record with a video where he painted his tongue 2 different colors with the use of some gummies, helpfully explaining to us the entire process.
So these will change the color of your tongue permanently for weeks. We're gonna put these in my mouth and wait 10 minutes.
Okay. Ew. Oh, it worked though.
It's not coming off. Shit.
This video shattered his previous record from just a few days prior with 10 million views. His before isolated audience had now expanded.
He said it's not coming off. Shit.
It's not coming off. Shit.
The video shattered his previous record from just a few days prior.
Oh my God. Alright, now I see why he's taking this. I'm sorry.
Expanded, as millions of unaware and very confused normies were exposed to the world of t-shirts, expressing a mix of sheer befuddlement and amusement in the comments. With videos like these and many, many more, his whole channel exploded, getting 4 times the followers in October compared to what he got in September. He had become a veritable normie magnet, as his content became ever present on TikTok front pages. However, while all this success was certainly nothing to scoff at, this was merely a precursor for what was to come, as our eternally ambitious main hero would not be satisfied with just filming himself at home being utterly asinine. So at the tail end of 2020, he would dedicate his time into a slightly different kind of content, music. Josh announced his first song in November of 2020, set to be released on
we're gonna get that autism trap.
the 1st of December.
Okay.
He announced it in much the same way you would probably expect from him at this point, sounding perhaps even more deadpan than he usually does, which is pretty impressive.
Okay.
I'm releasing a song on December 1st. It's very short. It's only about a minute long.
Isn't this Doja Cat? This ain't his song. Wait.
But it's all about COVID. Since I have
It's about COVID?
It'll go to TikTok, Instagram, Spotify.
I'm pretty sure this is a
and
Doja Cat
lot
like
of other
instrumental right now. I don't think this is his
platforms.
actual song.
Be ready. It'll be coming.
Indeed, Josh would grace us with the release of his song on Spotify, and frankly, it's a beauty. During the
Is it?
47-second runtime, he reminds us of just
No way it's actually good.
how good he had it in 2019, and how as soon as we entered 2020, our whole world came crashing down.
Listen, hold on. Listen, my whole channel is music video reactions, okay, and music and song reactions. There's no way he actually released a banger. Hold on.
Spotify, and frankly, it's a beauty. During the 47-second runtime, he reminds us of just how good he had it in 2019,
Hold
and
on.
how as soon as we entered 2020, our whole world came crashing down.
Okay.
I remember 2019, living our best lives. New Year's Eve came along, looking forward to 2020. It marked
Okay, alright.
a new decade. Everything was fine till March.
It marked a new decade. Everything was fine till March. Okay.
Quarantine, masks, social distancing, no job, no school, no nothing. Lockdown.
Bro,
Everything canceled.
bro, I'm not even gonna hold you. This shit is ass. Get this shit off the airway, bro.
Oh no.
This artful piece would end up netting
Don't
him
call
around
it an artful
65,000
piece, bro. That's a
listeners on
disgrace
Spotify.
to
With that
music.
initial success, Josh saw there was a potential for his music.
We
So
ain't
a month
leaving the
later, he
hood.
announced a new song
We staying in the hood with this one, gang.
on the 31st of December, while he danced joyfully
Coffee
to a
and
small
boba?
excerpt. As for
Okay.
the song itself, it would also be released on Spotify. And if you thought the last one was
Yo, this
life-changing,
is
then
too.
you're
This
not
is
prepared for what I'm
this
about
is
to show you.
ridiculousness,
It was
bro.
a love ballad dedicated to, as the name suggests, coffee and boba tea.
Turn it
Wake
up a
up
little
in
bit
the
for y'all.
morning, throw some clothes
That should
on,
be good.
check my phone, run out the door. Where do I go?
Yo, what? Ew.
Oh, of course, to get some coffee and some boba tea.
The song would end up doing better numbers on Spotify,
Oh,
getting
right,
around
that last part, some
130,000
coffee and
hits.
some
Seeing the
boba
monumental
tea.
success,
Okay.
Josh felt inclined to truly capitalize. He created his own website, registering it under the domain worldoftshirts.com on the 1st of February, later being changed to worldoftshirts.ai. The website serves a few purposes, advertising his music and selling his merch, which contains various memes and in-jokes from his community. But it's at this point that Joshua shifts his TikTok.
I always love how, like, the ultimate path of, like, every influencer is that one day you sell just, like, phrases that your community knows you for saying or that just became funny in chat or whatever. The ultimate goal always ends up being selling merch. I don't know why.
Content pretty much entirely. And on the 14th of March 2021, already a few months after his initial blow up, he uploaded a video of himself standing in Times Square, loudly singing Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z, specifically the part sung by Alicia Keys, all while surrounded by a crowd of bemused onlookers.
In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
This got him over 30 million views, setting the stage for exactly the kind of content we would expect.
30 million? Bro, come on, bro. We are blurring the lines of what is noteworthy of attention. 30 million views on for
various memes and
this.
in-jokes from his
Hold
community. But it's 21 King Empire.
Jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
This got him over 30 million views, setting the stage for exactly the kind of content we would
Why
expect.
did that get
He was
him
no
over
longer
30
creating
million
content
views?
from the confines of his home. Instead, he was making the exact same thing, but out on the streets of New York, which made it even funnier because you got to see bystanders in the background
on their
looking at
behalf.
him like, what the f are you doing? It's with this shift in location that our protagonist would reach the peak of popularity, gaining 640,000 followers in March alone. His videos were getting millions of views.
Bro, bae, he got 640,000 subscribers within 1 month. Just for being autistic.
And his streams were attended by tens of thousands of people. Well, it's hard to say if he made any money. It probably wasn't nothing. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that this new style of content wouldn't just attract a lot of attention from online fans, but also people in real life who would regularly go on to meet him in public while he was filming. With such a recognizable appearance and cadence, he's pretty hard to miss. Now,
I'm not gonna lie, like, I wouldn't mind, you know, being in, let's say I take a trip to New York or something and I see him in public. I wouldn't mind going up and saying hello. He seems like a nice guy in general. It's just kind of odd. He's just
regular people.
guy.
I'm sure the idea of constantly being harassed by fans doesn't sound that appealing, but for Josh, this was a catastrophe, one he wouldn't respond to in the healthiest manner. He would begin charging his fans $50 for the privilege of taking a photo with him, with multiple videos being released of him basically demanding money from fans.
Blood said, I run this city. I'm the king of New York. Are you kidding me, dude? See this? Okay, I can see how it's starting to turn bad. I was like, he seems like a pretty chill dude. $50 for a picture with you, gang? You could pipe me.
Of these, perhaps the most popular is a video of him in Central Park, where a fan pays him to sing a song, with Josh looking even more dead-eyed than usual.
Yeah, yeah, New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York.
He looks in pain. he looks like this hurts. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The response to this was very mixed. While the YouTube video that first shared this moment largely sided
That's what
with Josh,
I'm saying. I've genuinely been trying to figure out why it is that he's getting attention this whole time. And it just seems to be that he's just autistic, right? Like, he doesn't have emotions or something? Like, he doesn't process emotions properly?
His fans asking him why he charges people on a TikTok live stream. There, he would give a rather interesting response.
I charge my fans for photos because if I just take their picture, they're gonna get famous quickly for nothing.
Of course, it's his prerogative to charge or not charge.
They're gonna get famous just for being in a photo with you? That's not how that works, bro.
They don't want to do it. It's whatever. I'm just curious what this response
everyone that's taking a
means.
picture with NBA
if you
players
want money,
would be famous.
say because I want money. Instead, Instead, it's they'll get famous quickly for nothing. What does that mean? Despite this,
Look,
he would
what?
actually catch some flack from his fans, as many of them view this habit of his as proof that he only sees his fans as a source of income. People
Gee.
especially took
People don't
issue
like
with his
that.
comment about how he doesn't just want people blowing up in popularity for free, which they saw as him pulling up the ladder. That said, plenty of people still defend this practice, saying that part of why he likely does that is to dissuade random people from constantly approaching him. And the
Okay, so
charging
he is
simply means
special
that
needs
the only
then,
people
right?
who may get approached by are actual fans, at least in theory. It is worth noting he would later drop these prices, only charging $10 for pictures and $20 for videos. Of course, this didn't actually stop people from taking pictures and videos of him in creepshot fashion. If anything,
No way did he say, guys, don't tell Joshua. Oh my god. Oh my, yo, the internet.
this only further emboldened them to sneakily try to video him and then upload those
there's-
videos to their own TikToks, with some of these going downright viral. A TikTok user by the name of Fern would upload a video of Joshua walking down the street, making fun of his amusing stride. But none of this ever got in the way of his monumental
Oh
rise in
my
popularity.
God, bro.
In fact, as time went on, it seems a lot of people
Oh,
did genuinely
boy.
start to root for him beyond just treating him as a lolcow. Even if many of the fans were intent on making fun of him, no one
Guys,
really
don't
thought of
tell
him as
Joshua.
like a negative guy or an evil person. He was just someone who was kind of silly and funny to watch. But his grandest moment was yet to come. It was a short while after the charging fans incident that he would orchestrate what many view as the high point of his entire career.
What's
On the
that?
25th of May, 2021, just a few months after he had begun live streaming, he gathered his fans in Times Square for a unique event when one of the billboards began to show an advertisement for his channel while he called himself the King of the Concrete Jungle.
He bought an ad at Times Square. Bro, this dude is crazy.
For anybody who's curious, a spot in Times Square could run you as little as $5,000 per day to as much as $50,000.
Yeah, I got an audio message for Vance real quick. Hold on. He said, hold on. I got you, Vance.
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm on my break now.
Mm-hmm.
Good stream. I got like 4 clips out of that.
Okay.
Solid clips.
Okay.
Absolute asshole. It's kind of different. That boy Josh, that autism is autism. I respect it though. $50 for a picture? That's bread. Thank you. That's some money. I respect it. I don't know about him trying to pipe you though. That's kind of gay, bro. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Nah, I didn't even mean it like that. I didn't even mean it like that,
Caught
bro.
yourself. Well, I also caught it, and that's the clip.
No.
I clipped it.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A guest appearance from that boy Vance. Oh my
$1,000
god.
per day, depending on the ad and the length. Around this time, he would also do a small collaboration with a sizable YouTube channel called Side Talk, which focuses on interviewing people they meet while walking the streets. During this video, Josh does another rendition of the song that propelled him to stardom, gives a spicy hot take about school lunches, and charges one of the people present $25 for a photo. Notably, the video also includes one of the
$25
first, if not the first, use of a meme that will become
Louis
rather
Vuitton
popular
'cause
on
I'm
his
banned
channel,
from the Gucci
wherein he
store.
tells viewers that he's wearing Louis Vuitton.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. That is a bar. Caught me Louis V because I'm banned from the Gucci store. Bro, that shit, yo, put that. Bro, oh my god, that's heat.
Because he was banned from Gucci.
What?
Overall, this first interview ended up being pretty successful, netting them 600,000 views and a pretty positive reception
Hey,
from
yo,
commenters,
this
who took the
dude-
time
this
to poke a
dude is
little fun
official,
and
bro.
also
I'm not
said
even
that him
gonna
only
hold
charging
ya.
$25 was a blessing. The interview was so successful that Side Talk made another one just a few weeks later, where Josh once again wowed the crowd with his on-screen presence, and when
sir.
told that 6ix9ine claimed the title of King of New York, Josh bluntly asserts that he is in fact the true king.
What do you want to say to 6ix9ine
I'm the
right now?
king
He
of New
claims to be the
York.
king of New York.
I'm the king of New York. 6ix9ine
Why you say it like that?
is not the king. I am. I'm out here with no
Look at this nigga. Oh my goodness.
security because security's for quitters. I'm Moneybag Josh.
Facts.
Just like-
Oh my god. Moneybag Josh. Moneybag Josh. Oh my god.
Last time this one blew up, albeit not as much. Following the success of these
Oh,
interviews, an
Jesus.
unaffiliated song artist
Oh
by the name
my
of Felix
God.
Cartal would make the banned from the Gucci store meme into a song, which, in fairness to the artist, is miles better than anything Josh has ever produced.
Let me hear
Overall,
it.
despite this early
Aw,
hiccup
come
with
on,
charging
this
fans
is a
money, he used his
music
time in the
reaction
spotlight
show,
pretty
man.
well. And
It's a
while many
music
people did
reaction
view him as
video.
more of a
Come on, I
laughing
gotta
stock
see
than
what
a
it's
genuine
like.
content creator, he had enough genuine viewers watching to get by. Around this time, he also began getting the attention of mainstream media, with online publications beginning to take notice.
That's never
One
good.
of these would be
I'm
posted
going to
on
tell you why it's never good to get the attention of mainstream media. Mainstream media is, they can take, it could be good, it could be bad. They can take anything and make it good or bad for you. And if you're not on their side, it's ropes.
An internet
Ropes
news
for you,
outlet
gang.
called The Tab,
Ropes.
in which the author would do a little deep dive on some of his history, including the controversy of demanding payments. They also brought up a very interesting claim, showing what the author believes to be an older TikTok account of Joshua's, and how around that time it had been reactivated, posting a very questionable meme. Hello, base department, gonna need you guys to come down here. Now I should note that while it's interesting to ponder, it's very unlikely Josh would ever post something like this. For one, whenever he attempts to do humor,
I'm sorry for getting sidetracked here, but my brain operates in multiple spaces at once. Did y'all see, one, that Destiny had a stream with Candace Owens, and then also, two, the whole Ryan Garcia situation? Absolutely absurd, but that's not related to this. So let me keep this going. Sorry.
it's extremely different in comparison, and for two, there's a high likelihood he might not even be.
And Jake Paul's fighting Mike Tyson, bro. The whole, there's just been a paradigm shift ever since COVID. I'm pretty sure COVID kicked it off. 2019, Josh was right. Oh my God, Josh Block was right. 2020 was the year everything changed, bro. He's on to something.
Interested in that sort of stuff, at least if Reddit detectives are to be believed, referring to a screenshot of a dating app called Grindr on his home screen, as well as an interesting little clip where he suggests that he had been banned from the app. Regardless, while this article made some leaps of logic, it was arguably just one more notch in Joshua's belt, proving just how solidly he had made himself.
Stop supporting this.
Part of mainstream culture by then. Unfortunately, things went sour pretty quickly after. Around early June, sometime prior to the second Side Talk video, Josh got together with a random fan, and the two decided to do some fishing in the Hudson River. While things started off innocent enough, they quickly turned into...
Wait, are you allowed to do fishing in the Hudson River? Is that bad? Yo, Vance, if you're still on break, look that up. Is it illegal?
Into something far more sinister, when upon successfully catching a bluegill and pulling it out of the water, Josh proceeded to throw it on the ground forcefully and stomp on it like the lead singer of Sabaton, all while bearing the happiest smile.
Oh my God. That's the most emotion I've ever seen him exhibit.
Smile I think I've ever seen.
That is the face of an El Diablo. That is the face of a serial killer.
The reason he gives in the video for being this brutal is he justifies it by saying a fish shouldn't spend time in such dirty water, ostensibly making this stomping action an act of mercy.
He said, I'm putting it out of its misery? Oh my God.
After that, he continues to throw the fish on the ground repeatedly without saying a word, letting out a demented giggle. This, understandably, wouldn't go unnoticed, as the video quickly made waves around TikTok, with re-uploads of it getting upwards of 1 million views. It would also be uploaded to r/publicfreakout, where it got quite a bit more attention, with hundreds of comments asking how a person could do such a cruel thing.
I express all my hatred towards him, the group of people he represents. He looks autistic or something. No. You can't just say no. Listen, we know that there are humans who process and exhibit emotions differently, okay? So maybe he is autistic or something. Maybe he does have autism. I don't remember whether or not it was actually verified that he does at this point or by this point in the video. So I don't want to say he does. From what I've seen, he's exhibiting a lot of autistic traits. I've worked with kids who have had autism previously in worse situations than he's in. They no fame, from abusive households. Autism, it messes with, or it alters, the way that you process emotions, the way that you process things. He seems definitely like he's somewhere on the spectrum. And that's not even being offensive or trying to be derogatory with it. Most of what he's exhibited so far
largely, they pondered what kind of mental disorder he was suffering from that would convince him this was a good idea or, make him enjoy this. Well, it's hard to track just how large the backlash against him was at the time. It was clearly bad enough to where Josh felt the need to respond to it, which he would do in a now deleted TikTok. He defended himself by saying that the fish was already dead, which in his mind made it far less serious than it previously appeared. He also complained about how it had been filmed without his permission, as the fan had not actually paid him to record.
Okay, so a lot of people are upset about a leaked
He said,
video all
on
of
top
me
of that, I didn't even get my bag from it. Like, bro, come on, Josh.
stomping on a fish. First of all, the fish was already dead. The person who
Not first of all. There's no addressing the fish is crazy. All right, there's so many things that are crazy about what's happening right now. First of all, you can't just say addressing the fish, okay? That's just, you can't start with that. Second of all, there's no way you lead by saying, first of all, the fish was already dead. Oh my god.
recorded me without my permission. They didn't pay the cameo, so they weren't even supposed to record me,
Didn't
but they
even get his
posted it
bag
to set
from
me
it.
up
How
so
could
that
you?
they would have an
How
excuse
could
to
you?
try and cancel me. I did not kill anything. The fish was already
Hold on,
dead.
real quick. I have to see if I can get my my chat popped out or something from this from my stream. Can I get chat down here? Can I pop out chat? Can I pop out chat? I can't. Oh damn. Wait, yeah, I can. Pop out chat. N words. There we go. Now I'm gonna be able to see you, Vance. Give me 1 second. I just have to re-enable chat. Let me go to properties. And it's gonna be this one. There we go. There we go. And then I'll adjust it so that y'all don't gotta. Bless you. You're welcome. N-word. Oh, I got her. She didn't even hear me. Vance, if you snitch, I'll kill you. I promise. And then let's go to blending method. No, blending mode. Screen. That's not screen. That's not screen. Please, I'm begging you. It looks weird that way. I don't like it. Screen. All right, whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. No. Lighten. It's not even changing anymore. You did this, Fonz. It's your fault, but it doesn't matter.
Given the original had been deleted, we can probably assume it was not well received by the public. The re-upload I showed was released around the same time as this whole drama was occurring, and the comment section is pretty much all disapproval, going as far as to suggest his behavior was a clear example of animal abuse, which can be a telling sign of a potential serial killer.
That's what I said earlier. That's exactly what I said earlier, bro. Like, that's real serial killer type vibes, the way he was. Like, you realize, like, he didn't express emotion in most of his other videos, but the one time you're really seeing him, well, he was happy when he was dancing around and stuff, so maybe not. I don't know. He's confused.
The other more rational commenters focus on the fact that he doesn't seem to even understand why what he'd done was wrong in the first place. The whole drama would actually make its way onto YouTube, where the clip of him stomping out a fish made some waves. While not as big as it was in other places, you had some relatively large YouTubers like Mitchell Reacts covering it. Right around the time this fish video was released, the explosive growth of Joshua's TikTok stopped altogether. Although whether this is because of the drama he was finding himself in, or simply because people had lost interest, can't be said for certain. What can be said for certain is that same month, Josh went on to achieve something quite important in his personal life. He graduated from high school. Many viewers made note of the fact he was almost 20 at the time of graduation, which confirms he was held back
at least twice, right?
At least a year. But despite the minor bit of good news, Josh wasn't quite done with June. While doing a TikTok live stream in a hotel room, he was doxxed live on air as he received a call on the room's landline.
See, no matter what, you know, if it's a shitty person or not, I'm not a fan of people doxing people. That's not cool.
Saying exactly where he was located at the time. Wait. Understandably, this led to a bit of a freak out on his end, as he spun about the room like a chicken with his head cut off. This whole situation escalated even further when at some point Josh was kicked out of the hotel entirely after the supposed doxer had convinced the hotel staff that he'd made a bomb threat. The interaction he has—
Wait, I'm not even— what about a bomb threat?
To the time. Understandably, this led to a bit of a freak out on his end, as he spun about the room like a chicken with his head cut off. This whole situation escalated even further when at some point Josh was kicked out of the hotel entirely after the supposed doxer had convinced the hotel staff that he'd made a bomb threat. The interaction he has with the fan who recorded the video ends up being pretty amusing, as even with a stressful situation, Josh is still committed to the hustle, accepting $50 for giving the fan a privilege to film. But that wasn't quite the end of it, as the whole fish stomping incident began to pop up again, but not in the way you might think. People began to mass flag the World of T-Shirts TikTok account, which led to a temp ban in late July. As a result, he brought the Starbucks Club channel back to life and uploaded a teary-eyed apology where he begged for his account to be unbanned, giving a more thorough explanation of the bluegill bonanza.
Okay, I'm sorry about the fish. It was a wrong thing for me to do, to stomp that
fish. Please, just get me my account back.
Oh,
it was
guys.
my livelihood and they just took it away.
This clip actually can't be found on TikTok
this is
anymore.
what I mean. This is sad. What if, like, I know it's not good, but like, I don't know. Genuinely, if there is, some sort of learning disability or whatever, like, maybe he just doesn't process it the same way, like, so I don't know. This doesn't feel good in my opinion. It just feels like bad. Like, there's got to be a better way to teach him, but I can't be the one that says what that better way is, I guess is what I'm saying. If you, that's the autism right there, gotta make bread. I mean, yo, this dude Vance is crazy.
Although we can't exactly be sure why that is. If I were a betting man, then I'd bet my money on it being pretty poorly received, given he sounds less apologetic and more whiny than anything. Meanwhile, on YouTube, this situation wasn't exactly covered extensively, but I did find one pretty interesting development. The most popular video available about the subject was made by a fairly large TikToker by the name of Curly Daddy 101. He would release a video discussing the topic on a small YouTube channel, which includes the now deleted apology. In it, CD claims to be a friend of Joshua's, although he doesn't go into any real specifics regarding this. He tells us that he'd been talking to Josh about his fears of getting banned because of getting repeated violations for supposedly unknown reasons. CD even claims to have contacted TikTok regarding this to try and put Josh's mind at ease. Largely, the video's purpose is to publicly show support for Josh, as he argues the reason he was banned was entirely unjust, given the fish stomping incident was never uploaded on the World of T-Shirts account.
That's true. It's hard to, because they can't say that like they're banning him because he uploaded that content if he's not the one that uploading it. But don't they reserve the right to ban any account for any reason anyway? So does it not matter?
Meaning TikTok never should have taken any action against him. CD also gives an emphatic defense of Joshua's character, arguing he was clearly not all there, while gleefully stomping on the bluegill. He concludes with a lengthy diatribe, lamenting how TikTok had become a completely anti-free speech platform, where people are not...
I mean, he's probably going to get support for this because there is an entire, group of people who are very, very, very heavy on the free speech. And I'm a heavy believer in all of the components that come with free speech. But, like, I don't think this is them being anti-free speech. I think it's more of them protecting their image. It's tough to defend someone who's laughing while they stomp out a fish when you have, like, vegans and activists, animal rights activists that are going to be coming for Instagram or TikTok or whatever as a corporation as a result of this one incident.
Not allowed to express themselves in any way that's deemed even slightly offensive to the blue-haired mob. He also gives a dire warning to TikTok that if they don't loosen up on their policies, people will eventually abandon the platform. As much as I wish that was true, nobody actually cares about censorship. Unfortunately, people are just going to keep using it. The video received a fairly warm reception, with most of the people in the comments coming out in support of it, as well as in support of Joshua himself. From this point on, the timeline gets a little bit confusing, not least of all because there doesn't seem to be much archived info on the subject. From what I could gather, Josh would get his account back sometime around August, at which point things went back to normal. The second channel would upload a random promo for his website, as well as a short update about how he would no longer accept any photo or video taking requests after 5 p.m. But as we get to the end of August...
My boy said, nah, I'm turning this into my own 9 to 5. After 5, I don't want no pictures, no photos, no videos, no none of that.
The fish drama flares up once again, as a TikTok of him walking gets a community guideline strike, which he attributes to a mass flagging attempt by his haters. The response was pretty mixed.
What is, like, he got that Joker crease under his, hold at that. He got that, either that or he got, like, chlamydia. I don't know, bro.
Gets a community guideline strike, which he attributes to a mass flagging attempt by his haters. The response was pretty mixed. While some people in the comments seemed to support him, a lot of others still held a big grudge against him for the bluegill thing, with some going as far as to encourage him being harassed as a way of justice. As he continued posting these pleas for help, it seems more and more people turned against him, as the comment section of the later videos are
damn, they just keep mass report. Not Joe Rogan. That's the PFP, bro.
Completely swamped with people who outright hate the guy. This video in particular has a few comments calling him out for only responding to some random dude who asked if he could still donate. After posting another TikTok where he advertised his merchandise, he would post a quasi-conclusion to the whole saga, albeit a very, very vague one. Displayed is a screenshot taken from some sort of legal chat room, where Josh is being advised on how he could potentially sue TikTok for discrimination on the basis of his condition. It's hard to say when
legal Josh. Okay, he said, listen, if he got autism, he gonna hyper focus on you now. I respect it.
Exactly, but at some point after this video was released, the World of T-Shirts channel was actually reinstated. There's no way to tell if these two things are connected.
Blood said I'm about to sue, and they said, no, it's okay, King Josh. I know you're the king of New York. You can have your channel back.
But it's honestly more likely that after his appeal succeeded, there simply wasn't anyone else who cared enough to flag his content again, or these systems finally
Bro, his
kicked in
link
and
tree link even says Captain of New York, bro.
realized that he wasn't really doing anything bad on TikTok.
He the king,
that,
bro.
or maybe, if you want to be conspiratorial, his implied legal threat actually worked. But to be honest, I doubt that TikTok is afraid of Joshua Block. Either way, he went back to doing what he knew best, recording himself walking through New York while being obnoxious. Following his success in getting his main account back, Josh would partner up with a small YouTube channel called Apex Primary to create a documentary about him, in which we found out some very interesting information. This mini doc covers quite a breadth of topics.
So this video is titled From Autism to Alcoholism, which makes me afraid of the next 34 minutes that's left in this video.
Most of which I don't really care about. From discussing how autism can affect children's development and their ability to socialize, to interviews with Josh's teachers in high school who sing praises of the young man. There are a few interesting tidbits here, though. Firstly, we get a full confirmation that Josh himself is on the spectrum, and that he had gone through a restrictive curriculum throughout his early years. Not that we couldn't really tell he was on the spectrum, but now it's officially confirmed. We also learn the identity of the mysterious figure looming from the April interview. Apparently, it's actually Joshua's grandfather, who goes by the name of Vincent Lisa. Amid all of the bloviating comments about how successful Josh has been, we also find out that he's actually been an entrepreneur of sorts ever since the 10th grade, when he officially created 2 different online storefronts, including the World of T-Shirts and All Things Luxury. These were both created via a website called cafepress.com, which is basically like
to be doing that at around 10 years old is quite impressive. That's very impressive.
A super simple e-shop that allows you to create your own storefronts to sell your merch. To answer the question I'm sure you all have, yes, he named his TikTok account after a virtual storefront, which he actually confirms for us when he tells us he had reused the name for his TikTok account in order to further promote his t-shirt selling business. There aren't really any archives of these websites, so we can't be sure what these shops used to sell. What we can be sure of, though, is that nowadays they both seem like an extension of his own personalized merch store on the World of T-Shirts website, selling such worthwhile items as World of T-Shirts Portrait Design Baby Football Bodies and World of T-Shirts Portrait Design Women's Boy Briefs, as well as, and I kid you not, tens of thousands of other items. I don't even know where all these came from. When you actually scroll through these items, you'll realize most of them are pretty much the same, with the exact same designs being put on multiple different kinds of items, and the same kinds of items being sold with only mildly differing designs. It does make you wonder what the actual business model of these websites even is, given that 95% of these products probably haven't been sold even once. Interestingly, Joshua has deemed these 2 e-shops enough of a success that he lists them on his personal LinkedIn profile, where he names himself the CEO of the 2 respective stores since March 2017. Notably,
he's a CEO of 2 businesses, and Blood was like 15.
He also mentions how he's been the CEO of something called Joshua's ATT Corp. This company is actually listed on the Real Yellow Pages website, where
so he's not even capping.
It's described as a tech support service. It also links to what seems to be the actual website of the company, which says pretty much the same thing. Now, Joshua has been listed as CEO of the company since early 2014, when he would have been only 12 years old. Given that you can't even get a work permit until you're 15, it should probably go without saying that the listing is not accurate, to put it mildly, and it's more likely the website was run by his family, possibly his grandfather. This also puts into question how much time he actually puts into managing these storefronts. Add that to the fact he spends most of his days wandering about New York, and it's more likely he only has his name attached to the shops for feel-good points, or perhaps advertising, but there's no way he's actually running them. As the documentary goes on, we also find out a little bit more about his personal life. Among other things, we find out his mother, who was a sole guardian growing up, passed away due to ovarian cancer in 2015, when Josh was either 13 or 14 years old. Josh's father had attempted to take care of him, but due to his inability to do so, his grandfather opted to get full legal custody. The video ends on a positive note.
I mean, it's still good that he had someone to go to, though, but that does suck.
With a rather hopeful outlook on what the future has in store for Joshua, the documentarian seemed to feel he was just a silly guy who wanted to enjoy life and have fun on TikTok. For the time being, Josh was doing very well. While he was nowhere near the peak he had once occupied, he was still doing fairly solid numbers, and while some people had been turned off by his fish stomping, the audience he had seemed to be unaware of this or just didn't care. As 2021 lingered on, Josh got more...
Real quick, I'm sorry to cut you. I know, like I said, my brain gets like easily distracted. What the hell is this about? Why is KSI beefing with Aiden Ross right now? He just put dot at Aiden Ross, laughing emoji, pointing at him. Aiden verified Aiden's account, then replies, I mean, bro, I don't care. Personally, I'm still doing it. You can try and sue me and Eddie. I swear to God, I don't give a F. March 16th, Dean versus Adam is happening. KSI responds with this.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing.
No, yo, bro. KSI is the biggest troll on the planet. No
Truth
way.
it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard.
Short flies, Aiden. Oh my God. KSI, once he's forced to apologize. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the point of his.
Attention from the mainstream media, with various online publications releasing articles about him. The attention was all pretty positive, focusing on the fact that he's found so much success online despite the fact that he's autistic. After that, there wasn't really much to report on for a while.
So he is
because
autistic.
Josh was pretty
Okay,
drama-free
I'm
throughout
glad that
2022, doing pretty much the same
ironing
exact
that
kind of
out.
content you would expect him to make, walking around New York, recording song covers or parodies or lip syncs, and just having a fun time.
Ew,
Unfortunately,
what the-
things began to change drastically when Josh turned 21. While prior to this, he had never been known to abuse substances in any way, it's at this point that a new side of him began to emerge. Josh started to drink copious amounts of alcohol. It started off as a somewhat worrying aside to him as a person, but quickly turned into a centerfold of his entire brand. Eventually, people began tuning in for no other
That's
reason than
not
to see the
good.
kind of shenanigans Josh will get up to while hammered. Conversely, this led to Josh creating even more content in order to sate his fans' newfound desire to see him drunk, as he began to release dozens
No,
of
I see. I told you I was scared of the next 24 minutes of the or 34 minutes of the video, bro. This is where it turns bad.
videos where he was drinking himself silly or already very drunk and acting crazy. He would do the same on streams, where we got to see more of his raw, unfiltered self. This is all
Oh,
despite the fact
boy.
that, at least in the beginning, he clearly wasn't very good at handling alcohol, probably because he never even had a sip of it prior to turning 21.
What the hell is happening to me? I
Blood is
think I'm
losing
gonna be
his-
sick.
Yeah, you're drunk, dude.
Oh.
This
Wait, but so well, no, he's 21 now. I was gonna say, who's allowing him to have alcohol? But if he's 21, then he can drink.
Stream archive in particular is quite noteworthy. Besides displaying just how inexperienced Joshua was at this point with drinking, it includes at least one interesting...
Yeah, but like at 20, yeah, again, some of the chats got good points. You're 21, you still have parents around. They should be taking extra caution, or not parents, but like his granddad, or if his granddad's pretty old. Damn.
tidbit.
I'm sorry for everything bad I did. I'm sorry. Please, if I die, don't send me to hell.
Well, all right, yeah. So, all right, so now this has entered a whole different realm of unfunny now. Like,
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry for stomping on that fish. I'm so sorry.
you see what I mean by like when you're autistic, you have different understandings and interpretations of emotions. Like let's not use like the word normal as to call people who are autistic abnormal, but let's use, mentally there, I guess. Those who are mentally not disabled, those who are mentally able, are able to experience something like that, be apologetic about it, but not internalize it to a point where they genuinely think they're gonna burn in hell now and people are gonna like want to kill them and whatnot. You can take it, you can brush it off, and you can move on. But as you can see, now that he's drunk, the truth comes to light. He is genuinely like internalizing this as like an existential punishment for him. Like that's not
I
good.
promise I'll never do anything like that.
This may actually be the first time he'd ever given a genuine apology for the whole fish incident. While he's obviously inebriated, it does make one wonder how he actually feels about it, or if he actually does understand how what he had done was wrong. Or
Right.
perhaps it's just a drunk person drunkenly rambling. This new habit of his would only become more uncontrollable as time went on, with every subsequent stream becoming more and more unhinged. One good example is present in this clip, where he's being aggressively encouraged to consume more drinks while in a club bathroom, as he pees on stream without even a hint of shame. However, things did not truly
There's no way he showed it though, right?
at a
'Cause that's
fever
a
pitch
ban.
until Josh made a brand new friend, Michael Quinn. To give you a little introduction to Michael Quinn, he's a man
God.
somewhere between 40 to 60 years old, whose greatest genuine
All right, let's not kid ourselves. He's not fucking 60.
claim to fame is inheriting a company by the name of Feltman's Hot Dogs, which, as the name suggests, is famous for selling hot dogs. In fact, the company was so famous that it would eventually land
Got famous for selling glizzies, huh?
him a TV interview on NBC. He's also a bit of a TikToker in his own right, although to call him that in earnest would be to give TikTokers a bad name. If you think that's somehow possible, with a grand total of 720 followers and a few more across his other social media accounts. He
720.
truly was a
Baby
nobody
numbers.
prior to meeting Josh, at least in terms of having a following. But they met at some point in late 2022, at which point he and Michael
1.08K, baby numbers, boy.
would start to make content together. Some of the early videos seemed innocent enough, including featuring on a YouTube channel called Flavors of New York. However, things quickly devolved, and while there would be some scattered collabs like this, their focus quickly changed to where the real money was. At some point, Josh would hire Michael as his personal manager, wherein he would take a percentage of Josh's personal revenue in exchange for, as far as I can tell, pretty much doing nothing, other than following Josh around and encouraging him to drink more. Michael would quickly begin appearing in Josh's videos, perhaps being even more of a nuisance than Josh himself. He would regularly enable every bad behavior.
But how is... I don't remember. I didn't fully hear about like his family situation. I know they said he only had one parent, I believe, and then he was getting raised by his grandfather. But how are family members and friends, and if he's famous and stuff on TikTok, I'm assuming he has managers of his account, I would hope. How are those people all allowing him to be associated with people like this? I don't understand that.
Behavior Josh engaged in, egging him on to get as many views as possible, no matter the cost to his well-being or dignity. It wasn't long before Michael was absolutely reviled in the World of T-Shirts community.
Jesus.
While people on TikTok would always welcome an opportunity to make Joshua do even more dumb things, the World of T-Shirts subreddit was not nearly so polite towards him, and over the next few months, he would get absolutely railed by both Reddit and YouTube, with most of the criticism centering around the fact that he's basically just a clout leech, trying to siphon as much fame out of Josh as he possibly
You
can.
mean like 97% of all of the other influencers online? Just clout leeches trying to siphon as much influence and fame as possible off of the next person?
And naturally, Mike would go out of his way to defend himself from these haters, and he did so in the
We're not that 97% though. We that 3%ers over here, gangies.
best way he knew how. Poorly. He would make a number of videos on his
I don't want
personal
nothing from
TikTok
ya.
account, most of which are deleted today, where he would basically make the argument that he's actually helping Josh and others whom he works with. He would also regularly make the argument that he's actually trying to moderate just how much Josh drinks, with Josh himself drunkenly telling us
Here
that he
it
only
is.
vomits when he's drinking alone. Of course, not a whole lot of people really took that defense very seriously. Pretty much the entire following that he would get from Josh were people who hated his guts, occupying the comment sections of his TikToks. But the hate
He
campaign
threw up in the street.
didn't stop there. Entire channels would pop up whose sole purpose was to document him and his behavior. In particular, a TikTok channel called Quinning2 would start re-uploading TikToks from Michael's personal account, as well as dozens of clips from the TikTok lives, capturing the craziest moments. This
Damn.
account would not be the only one to accuse Michael of being an out-and-out gooner. A post on the World of T-Shirts subreddit would make the same argument, highlighting an interaction from a live stream between Michael and Josh.
Yeah, it does seem like the whole Michael Quinn guy just saw an opportunity to latch onto somebody who's not mentally, able, and he's like, I could probably latch on to this guy, get some fame from him, also get some of his money potentially, and there's nobody there to protect Josh.
Which sadly hadn't been archived. The post recounts how Michael was
Damn.
clearly trying to make Josh drink as much as possible by drinking alongside him, goading him
Right.
into doing shots, in between telling Josh to
Some
defend
predator
him
shit,
from the
though.
haters. The post also mentions how, for an upcoming trip to Paris, if it was okay for Michael to pay for everything and then give Joshua some extra allowance, which the commenter called sugar daddy behavior.
Bro, you want me to pay for the whole trip and then on top of that give you an allowance? What in the world? You're a grown man. Oh, twice my age, dog. What in the...
The internet would throw a lot more accusations at Michael Quinn. On the Daniel Larson wiki, Michael has an entire article dedicated to him where he's accused of being a substance abuser who's addicted to either benzos or coke. Claims like these are mostly based on a number of, let's just say, very memorable appearances. On multiple occasions, he would go on TikTok live and look absolutely off his rocker. One of these, hopefully
Jesus.
enshrined on Reddit, sees Michael talking to someone of very vaguely Mediterranean descent. While we don't know the full context of this clip, what it shows is very telling, as Michael lays into them with some very harsh words, including the repeated use of the N-word with the hard R, all while looking completely stoned or hammered out of his
Jesus Christ, bro. Not the hard R.
mind. Wait, is Michael Quinn actually based? This video, as well as others, quickly led to even more backlash, and it made the Reddit detectives go into overdrive, trying to figure out what kind of
Is
drug
he on pills? Did you see him just now?
he's on. One commenter noted it's most likely benzos mixed with alcohol. I'm not a medical expert. Try to take these comments with a pinch of salt. This is Reddit after all, but it's possible, I guess. Regardless of the veracity of these claims, what matters here is that the backlash against Michael simply kept growing. And as time went on, more and more things about him would come to the limelight. People found all kinds of interesting factoids when they began to dig into his personal history, where they found that he actually used to be a substitute teacher.
Michael Quinn getting bullied as substitute teacher.
Okay? This is not gonna go on anymore. Enough!
Oh. Sorry, Mr. Quinn.
Eventually, this backlash entered the
Bro, honestly, when teachers used to get like mad, it's just like this thing where like when you finally see them break, it's so funny. I know it's not good, and teachers deal with more than enough BS than they have to put up with our nonsense too, but it's kind of funny.
YouTube sphere, where it extended from just mocking Michael and actually was redirected to even further attention getting on Josh. A number of videos came out discussing Josh's obvious drinking problem, mostly by small YouTubers, as there was never exactly a mainstream drive behind any of these. Still, you had small creators like Zayd Gets Laid making comprehensive critiques of the guy, sharing Joshua's rapid descent into degeneracy. This is where CD re-enters the picture. He would initially post a video on his TikTok channel where he criticized Michael for enabling Joshua's alcohol habit, making the point that he clearly had the resources to genuinely help him, but that he simply didn't care to do so.
Hold on real quick. Yeah, I'm about to go get some juice. Matter of fact, or something to drink. But y'all want to see my best Hassan Piker impersonation? Ready?
Been reluctant to make this video, but I'm going to. I was on this guy Michael Quinn's live stream last night when he was drinking with World of T-shirts on a Monday. I have to say, I do take an issue with you paying for World of T-shirts as drinks when he's obviously a struggling alcoholic. This guy says he wants to help Josh, yet publicly contributes to his downward spiral into alcoholism. Okay, so you pay for his phone bill. Great, do you want a cookie? The fact is, you've probably done irreversible damage to Joshua's life. You have the ability and resources to probably get Josh some help, but I do not think you care or want to. I firmly believe that if Josh had friends his own age that were good in...
Go back. Let me stop.
Mostly by small YouTubers,
was that
there
a
was
good
never exactly
Hassan
a
Piker?
mainstream drive behind any
I think
of
it
these.
was.
Still, you had small creators like Zayd Gets Laid making comprehensive critiques of the guy, sharing Joshua's rapid descent into degeneracy. This is where CD re-enters the picture. He would initially post a video on his TikTok channel where he criticized Michael for enabling Joshua's alcohol habit, making the point that he clearly had the resources to genuinely help him, but that he simply didn't care to do so.
I've been reluctant to make this video.
That's crazy.
But I'm going to. I was on this guy Michael Quinn's live stream last night when he was drinking with World of T-shirts on a Monday. I have to say, I do take an issue with you paying for World of T-shirts as drinks when he's obviously a struggling alcoholic. This guy says he wants to help Josh, yet publicly contributes to his downward spiral into alcoholism.
It's all a facade. You're under the guise that you want to help him, but in reality, you just want to benefit from him in the best way possible. And even if he collapses, you still come out good. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so you pay for his phone bill. Great. Do you want a cookie? The fact is, you've probably done irreversible damage to Joshua's life. You have the ability and resources to probably get Josh some help, but I do not think you care or want to. I firmly believe that if Josh had friends his own age that were good influences on him, that he would be alright.
While it was a fairly harmless video compared to the other accusations, it seems this one got a lot more attention.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier, right? Your influences are like the biggest and most important things in your life, you know what I mean? Those are the people that are going to guide you, and those are the people that are going to kind of check you and make sure that you're doing the right thing. But on top of that, those are the people you're going to model your actions after. So when you have a good circle of people around you and you have good models to model your actions after, it produces good outcomes.
As Michael himself took notice of it. In a now deleted TikTok, he said CD was dead to Joshua, hinting at their former friendship. At the same time, another large TikToker called Ryan the Lion, who also happens to be within Michael's cadre of friends, would reply to it, effectively dismissing the accusations. This, along with some other comments, led CD to release a much more in-depth video on his YouTube channel. In this scathing critique, he admits that he wasn't really acquainted with Josh at this point. Still, he goes on to defend him, arguing that his alcoholism is entirely Michael's fault. He also highlights some statements made by him where he defends what he does by saying it's all for the good of the creators he works with. He accused him of being the reason Josh had stopped talking to CD in the first place, claiming Michael to be a manipulator who is separating Josh from all of his friends to keep his control.
The big thing I have...
That's a big thing to look out for. if you have a friend, it's okay if it happens here or there because sometimes your friends are there to tell you to avoid other bad influences. But if you have a specific friend that spends most of their time telling you why you shouldn't be friends with other people, that person is the problem.
Have a problem with is a sign of a manipulator is separating someone from their friends,
Right.
their good influences, whatever. That is what Michael Quinn is doing. He is making sure that Josh now no longer has any contact with me. He's making sure that Josh is separated from anybody that could potentially take him away from you, Michael. And that is a
Right.
sign of a manipulator / abuser.
CD goes on to show a clip of Michael saying something very, very inappropriate about Daniel Larson, basically threatening physical violence against the man for some reason. This really is the fucking Spurg Avengers coming together to just go to war with each other. And this particular drama would eventually develop into something bigger. But for now, we'll keep it at that. While there admittedly isn't much new information in the CD video, it's at least worth noting that CD does genuinely seem to care about Joshua, which most other people frankly don't. At the very least, it seems they had been...
That's the comment I made earlier. It's like, where are the people that like are here to look out for this guy? Even like family's not present, friends aren't present, no mentors. Like it's everyone around him seems to just want to take from him.
really good friends prior to Michael breaking them up. As far as I can tell, Michael never replied to this officially, apart from a few snide comments made at CD's expense. Likely, he didn't really want to bring more attention to it, given CD was probably right. Of course, this didn't stop people from continuing to hurl some very fair criticism his way, which only led to him responding more and more negatively. In the end, for all the criticism, Michael never really stopped hanging out with Josh. To this day, he continues to walk around New York with him and even travel the world with him, and all expenses paid.
To this day? Wait, this is like recent. This is in November of 2023. This is only 4 or 5 months ago.
Trips to Italy, Iceland, and anywhere else you can think of. While he constantly catches more and more negative attention, it doesn't seem he's that fazed by it. Not least of all because he doesn't actually rely on TikTok as a means of getting an income, given his own pre-existing hot dog wealth. As Joshua's manager, Michael would, of course, try to
He got that glizzy money.
Contribute to the management side of things, which he did by diversifying his income streams. Of these, one suggestion would really take root: World of T-Shirts New York Tour. A brainchild of Michael and Josh's collective brain power, it would see the duo do basically the same thing they always do, while also having multiple people tag along with them, pretending to act as tour guides. On a website called Holy Prof Web, it's described as a unique and immersive experience. Exactly 5 times. The whole article seems written.
So they take you on a tour through New York and you get $5, you get charged $5 to take a picture with Josh? Are you joking right now?
By AI, fluffing up the whole tour as much as possible while also padding out the word count. But other than this obvious shill review, it also has a whole website dedicated to it, as well as its own section on the World of T-Shirts primary website.
Jesus
the dedicated
Christ.
website itself looks less professional than any WordPress or anything site I've ever seen. In fact, being kind of a shitty website, it doesn't actually say
East Village and North Brooklyn tour inspired by World of T-Shirts on
it's being
TikTok.
run by Joshua either, instead being portrayed as a tour inspired by World of T-Shirts, whatever that is supposed to mean. It captures the essence of World of T-Shirts, the flavor
It captures the essence of autism itself.
However, despite Josh's no doubt staggering star power, the tour was received pretty poorly. Clips would begin to pop up of people filming themselves partaking in the activity, and pretty much all of them were done in mockery of Josh and Michael.
Oh god.
Up in Times Square, he danced, ran upstairs 10 times, and left.
Perhaps even more amusing than these clips, however, are the Google Maps reviews of the service, boasting a grand score of 1.7 stars.
That shit was ass.
Showered by praise, and one glance at the reviews should give you an idea why. The first review that pops up claims that Josh had showed up to the starting spot of the tour already completely hammered, and even having pissed his pants prior to showing up, only to call the review's author an unemployed piece of shit when asked if he would get him a complimentary drink. Another review posted by an actual tour guide was equally as scornful.
Wait, did he just say his sidekick also body slammed me into the pavement when I told him that he didn't teach Pete Davidson in the high school?
giving a similar recollection of events as the first one, with the addition that he actually threatened to sue some of the people there for no discernible reason. You get pretty much the same story scrolling through the rest of the reviews, with just about every positive review being some sort of troll, or otherwise just not taking it very seriously. Indeed,
Tour guide was
tour
drunk.
became so infamous
Makes
for
sense.
its shoddiness that it ended up catching some attention on YouTube and TikTok, with creators like LolCow Designs even going through the reviews for content. Oddly, if you look for reviews of it via the Google search engine, you'll probably find this little article on a website called Passion Fruit. This review gives us a very different view of Josh, although perhaps not a very different view of the tour itself. He describes, in short, the process of booking a tour, which involved receiving a waiver via Google Docs, which warned that World of T-Shirts would not be liable if the author were to be bitten by rats during the tour.
I mean, New York is dirty, though.
Not sure why that's so specifically listed. I've personally toured New York, and I've never had any liability waiver list anything about being bitten by rats, but you never know what's going to happen with Josh. They would then set up a meeting, which Josh would show up to half an hour late for, at which point they had a very curt interview, which, as the author writes, had nothing he could actually use in his article.
Damn.
He then describes the tour, which involved them walking across the streets aimlessly, while the author asked Joshua questions about his life, as well as just tried to really talk to him normally one-on-one. Josh would constantly give people side glances, paranoid that any single one of them could be a troll, and he rejected everyone who approached him for a photo. He justifies
Wait, but I thought that was his, like, one of his sources of income.
some of this paranoia with a story he tells the author from when he was in Texas. One day, when he came back to his hotel room, he saw that someone had broken in and defecated on his bed. At one point, Josh would pull out his phone, and as is usual for these tours, he would film a
That's scary shit, though. I don't care who you are. Someone's breaking into your house and taking a steaming hot shit on your bed. Nah, bro.
After that, they took a metro ride on the train to Williamsburg until they reached a bar by the name of Union Pool, where everyone was too old to recognize Josh. Then they walked over to another bar where the author alleges he bought Joshua a margarita as a thank you, at which point they said their goodbyes and the autist-in-chief slunk away into the shadows. The article provides an interesting view of Josh, describing him as a very earnest and kind person, highlighting just how much he differs from the idea promulgated by social media. From clips of him behaving like a total nitwit to the thousands of hate videos made about him. Largely, the author seems satisfied, albeit he never spoke to the tour's quality. Overall, this was
I mean, that's a positive review, right?
most positive reception the tour ever got, and it's only positive because it entirely ignores the fact that there was even a, tour in the first place. Despite this, the project is still ongoing, with most of the tours getting a dedicated TikTok in lieu of Joshua's ceaseless hustling, all while being constantly babysat by a man twice his age, who is not his father or relative in
Is he actively chasing after people right now, and they're just, like, laughing and playing along?
Anyway,
Blood's playing
Michael,
tag
as I've
for
alluded to
money.
earlier, he would get Josh into a rather strange bit of beef with Daniel Larson,
Who the hell is
another
that?
channel favorite here. Well, it's hard.
Who is that? He, too, is a part of the Force spectrum.
To say exactly where it started, it seems that fans of the two respective creators were really pushing them to have a fight with each other in New York City. This led to the two of them to name drop each other, with Michael even supposedly trying to set up a boxing
You guys are
match.
haters,
a lot
bro.
Of this drama is pretty much
Like, bro, y'all always want to see people fight. Why y'all want to, like, set up an event where they give away food to the homeless or something? Y'all are annoying.
entirely contained to Michael's account, which has since been nuked. This complicates the process of tracking down how exactly it developed. What we do know is that at some point, Michael claimed that Daniel Larson had found his home address, even though there didn't seem to be much proof. This led to him releasing a video talking about how he
This
would have
guy's
to
a
hire
snake.
bodyguards
This guy is a rat snake.
for Josh to protect him from Daniel Larson.
All right, so get this. I'm hiring a security detail even larger than the one that Donald Trump has to defend
Why did you bring up Donald Trump, and why does it look like your face is spray painted in yellow?
World of T-shirts from Daniel Larson.
Conversely, Daniel would respond to what he deemed as threats from Michael by making a legal threat.
This message is for Michael Quinn. If you do not stop with the threats, then I will be forced to press charges and file a...
Can we... Alright, I'm not even gonna do it, bro.
This all came to a head with Michael trying to set up a meeting between Josh and Daniel, where the latter would have to travel to New York City all the way from California.
So after 2 hours of negotiations, we came to an agreement that Josh wants to meet Daniel Larson. It's going to happen. But the stipulations, a couple of stipulations. Yeah. You know,
Yo, leave him alone, bro.
first of all, I have to be there. It has to be a place they won't be doxxed.
Yes!
And we want to make sure that Netflix covers it.
Apparently, this little deal
You want Netflix to cover two autistic individuals meeting in New York.
was preceded by Michael and Daniel meeting randomly on the street while they were both out, and they ended up chatting each other up before Daniel started to live stream with Mike.
I'm gonna get the Nobel Peace Prize because I'm gonna introduce him to World of T-Shirts, and the whole world is gonna be beautiful.
The impression gathered by most was that Michael was basically trying to stir trouble between the two for no other reason than to farm clout. This is certainly a prevailing belief on the World of T-Shirts subreddit where
this whole thing, I don't, he doesn't even deserve to be famous in the first place. Let's be honest with ourselves here, but this whole thing is so dumb.
As we've already discussed, people hate Michael's guts. Not that I really blame them. Nonetheless, this wouldn't stop the meeting from actually happening, and later in May, Daniel flew out to New York, where he finally met the dastardly duo in real life. Their whole meeting will be streamed on Michael's
The dastardly duo. That's what we calling them.
TikTok, which
the too many chromosome twins.
was archived. For the entirety of the meeting, they're sitting in a diner, eating food while Michael and Joshua record at the same time. For the most part, Daniel Larson and Joshua Block don't really seem that interested in actually talking to each other, seemingly only doing so out of politeness. It's pretty awkward to listen to. Meanwhile, Michael's the one largely driving the conversation, trying to get them to interact in a more entertaining manner, like when he randomly asked what kind of
Could you imagine just having two autistic kids sitting next to each other trying to get them to, like, be best friends?
Labs they would do. In particular, Michael actually invited Daniel to Joshua's signature tour of New York.
Can you guys do like daily collaborations maybe in the city? Would you like that, Josh? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be pretty
You
awesome.
guys- Yeah. Why don't you? Would you let him join for free the tour?
I can't do that. It's not fair. Like,
All right.
He said, "Yeah, I wouldn't give it to anybody for free. I need this bag, bro. I love Josh."
You want me to pay for his tour? If he shows up, I'll pay for your tour.
The topic eventually shifts to Reddit, and especially about how terrible it is for spreading fake news about all three of them.
Facts.
Michael seems particularly livid throughout this
I'm
discussion.
not gonna lie, Reddit is a breeding ground for misinformation.
Making his opinion crystal clear.
I don't go on Reddit. I hate Reddit. All they do is make fun of me.
Facts. Reddit is for losers. Sec, let me stop. I use
But
it
they're fake
sometimes.
news. They're terrible.
They're fake news.
It's worse than
He pulled the Trump technique. It's all fake news, bro.
TMZ. Yeah.
After this, Josh starts talking about how someone had created a Yelp account under his name, which resulted in him getting flooded with negative reviews, which, in his view, are entirely misplaced, given that he's never actually received a complaint from any of his fans for his services. He does not bring up the Google reviews, if you were wondering, but honestly, I would doubt that he even
Of
knows
course
they
not.
exist. After a short discussion about how both Josh and Daniel were regularly getting swatted, Michael, once again showing he's puppet mastering this thing, forces in Joshua's signature catchphrase.
Josh, do me a favor. Ask Daniel if he's ever been on Tinder.
Yes. Mine got said B-A-N-E-D.
What does that mean?
What is that? B-A-N-N-E-D.
Bans. He's banned from Tinder.
Right, okay.
I've largely avoided mentioning it as it's frankly kind of
Cringe.
cringe, but after the original Side Talk interview, where the banned from the Gucci store meme had been born, Josh would try to relight that flame by morphing the meme into something different. As we already know, he took the word banned and made it part of his whole advertising persona. Subsequently, he would turn it into a catch.
Banned from Tinder. You shouldn't be happy about that. I think. Well, who else gets banned from Tinder? Child molesters? Like, why would you be banned from Tinder? I don't understand.
In which he changed the Gucci store to Tinder.
I go to open Tinder. What does B-A-N-N-E-D mean? Banned. Banned? I don't have insurance.
But back to the interview, the discussion loops back to swatting
What do you mean you don't have insurance?
and doxing. In particular, Josh brings up how, due to people doxing a lot of the bars he goes to, a lot of bartenders would outright refuse to serve him. Knowing Joshua, he probably sees this as the absolute worst thing that could happen to him.
I mean, that's probably for the best, dude. You do not need to be anywhere near alcohol again, my guy. I'm just telling you
The
that.
most interesting part of
as
this
a
whole clip
concerned
is a rather
citizen.
brief part during which Michael asked Joshua if he's going to stop drinking, clearly doing so to solicit a view-worthy reaction. Joshua responds to this in a rather interesting manner, accepting that he does indeed have a drinking problem, but says he's unwilling to commit to stopping.
You're gonna quit drinking, right?
No.
No?
I'll moderate my drinking.
Well, I mean, that's still good. That's you need self-moderation. Everything can be enjoyed as long as it is enjoyed in moderation. No matter what it is. Okay, some things, black tar heroin and Colombian cocaine maybe shouldn't be tried at all, but most things, as long as you have moderation and discipline, perfectly fine.
What about quit altogether? You think you should, maybe? What do you think, Dan? You think you should quit drinking?
No, I don't think I should quit
cut down, though. You should cut down. Cut down, yes. Because you drink too.
You know, I don't end up in the hospital once a week, you know?
Yeah, I've only been in the hospital twice.
I think once is more than enough, you know?
He also reveals that his
I
drinking
agree.
problem has led him to end up in the hospital twice. Of course, he doesn't say with a level of severity that that kind of statement should work.
Right, like, bro, visiting the hospital due to drinking, like, your organs are now responding to it, bro. You need to chill.
But he does say it. After that, there's not much to say about the interview. Michael does his best to keep the chat going as long as possible, and to the credit of our two TikTok e-celebrities, they are decent at engaging in casual conversation with each other by the end. Josh seems excited for an upcoming trip to Vegas, with perhaps the most interesting part being the fact he's mildly worried about his safety, as he's unwilling to leave the touristy areas. He seems to have
That's
a
fair.
fear of the rats.
I'm not gonna lie. California, wait, no, Las Vegas is in Nevada. Never mind. Sorry.
Of Las Vegas. In the end, Daniel and Josh part ways, having officially made peace, which is then further discussed between Josh and Mike. It's strange to hear Michael talk about it as though it had been some earth-shattering drama, considering it was completely astroturfed by him and then ended by him. There isn't really much of a takeaway here.
What does astroturfed mean?
Nor a whole lot resulting from it. The much hyped collabs they talked about never really materialized, and in the eyes of most, the meeting was pretty underwhelming, not helped by the fact that most of it was just being steered by Michael. The most entertaining thing people got out of it was this brief animated clip, which parodied the whole interaction.
What does B-A-N-N-E-D mean?
Strangely though, despite this beef seemingly being over, this didn't exactly put an end to the back and forth. While Josh was absent from it from this point on, Michael and Daniel continued to make comments about each other, although 90% of it was coming from Michael, with Daniel just occasionally firing back. Admittedly, this got pretty weird. About 2 months after the interview, Daniel Larson made a very odd series of tweets where he made the claim that he just had intimate relations.
I'm getting ready to do the unthinkable. I just messed up again, and this time it was worse than last time.
I don't know if that's true. Considering
What?
it's Daniel Larson, I'd say that it's 100% certified true by true-based American patriots. It's probably not true.
Yeah, it's probably
There isn't
cap.
much more to say about Michael after this. At least nothing relevant to us. His main
I hate
account
Michael
got
Quinn.
deleted, and his presumed second account also got deleted. Since
Good.
then, he tried to reestablish himself, with a TikTok I showed being his latest attempt. As for Josh, things would only continue to get worse and more complicated for him. His
Damn.
behavior would become more and more erratic, not to mention more and more controversial. While he'd largely avoided the attention of YouTubers before, a lot of people, largely smaller creators, would start making videos about him, as clips of his outbursts were circulating again and again.
Dude, he's like down in a 40 right now in like a few gulps. What the
these clips,
hell?
One of them that really made its way around was from a live stream of Josh from sometime in early 2023. The stream started innocently enough until the King of New York is approached by someone claiming to be a fan, only to really quickly devolve into whatever this is.
My name is Guzman, and I've been hired by somebody on TikTok to supervise all autistic people. And looks like you're in need of
Yo, you cannot say that. He said, I'm here to supervise all autistic people.
No, you won't.
I'm your bodyguard / caretaker. Yo, and he's running away. Bro.
It turns out this man is Douglas Skates, who from what I can gather is a bit of a professional troll, having approached Josh mainly for clout. As you can see, Josh isn't exactly enthused to talk to him, which leads to a very strange...
Bro. I'm telling you, this whole, like, if you're not doing the pranking on YouTube the right way, just don't do it at all right? Do it the right way.
Strange back and forth wherein Josh tries to leave the man as far behind as possible, only for Douglas to always catch up to him, to which Josh always seems pretty shocked.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm here to help. No.
I don't want to talk to you.
If I'm calling the fucking police.
This would keep happening pretty much for the entirety of the live stream, with Douglas constantly popping out of nowhere, just spawning in place.
Dude, alright, that's harassment, bro.
Always able to find Josh within a few minutes of losing him. This should, of course, not really be surprising given Josh continued to stream his location, meaning Douglas could easily just watch it, find out where he is again, and then wait for him to leave.
Bro is stream sniping.
And then find him again. This clip ended up circulating both on TikTok and YouTube, mainly due to Josh's very, very angry disposition towards Douglas. Doug himself...
Bro, stream sniping IRL is crazy.
These clips
oh
of his
my
interactions as part
god.
of a larger video, whereas the title suggests he's trying to get banned from every library in town.
Chill out, bro. We're cool. We're cool.
Let me remove
Guys,
chat
I'm
for
sorry,
now.
I'm
Hold
taking
on.
care of him. He's getting mad. I'm his caretaker. Calm down. You're not. Don't hit me, sir. Look, bro.
There's more and
Why he run like that?
Calm down.
Look,
Don't
ready?
hit me, sir. Look, bro.
As more and more of his public outbursts were exposed via compilations and re-uploads,
Oh
Josh would
my
start catching the attention
God.
of the commentary scene, resulting in a number of videos being released about him, namely from Kiwi tapes. But more interesting than most of these videos is a release from a channel called Masshole Media. The channel released a video in the form of a documentary where the filming crew shows us a day in the life of Joshua Block. It does give us a pretty
Ooh, a
interesting
day in the
look at
life.
the
I
kind of
like
person
that.
Josh is, being fairly polite with the filming crew throughout. We get to see what he looks and acts like when he's not the one holding the camera, and frankly, he seems like a pretty nice dude when he's not plastered out of his mind.
Damn.
How come, excuse me, is it true that, like, I looked on Google and bartenders can't accept an out-of-state ID in Mass? Is that
No,
true?
that's not true. That's not true.
How come I saw that on Google? Like, is it like a law that they can't accept it, but they don't enforce it?
We also get to see some more candid
He just trying to make sure he gets his alky, man. Aww.
interactions with fans, who end up approaching him in droves. This time around, he does accept photo opportunities and doesn't actually ask for money from anyone. In general, the documentary puts quite a positive spin on Josh and his behavior, which,
There you go. Yeah.
frankly, was a pretty refreshing find.
I'm not gonna lie, this whole situation now is just blowing my mind that people actually made this guy famous, so I've kind of lost interest. But we're almost at the end of the video, so it's okay.
Exactly break new grounds by giving us more lore, other than making one very interesting assertion regarding Josh's drinking habit.
The alcohol situation with Josh, from what I saw and who I spoke with, he has about 4 to 5 drinks a day. We went to 2 bars.
A day?
And he just got out of dinner when I saw him. So he probably had 3 drinks when around the time when I was around. It wasn't like going to one bar, having 5 drinks, then leaving, going to the next bar, having 5 drinks, then leaving. It was one drink, you'd sit in there, he'd sip on it, he'd do whatever. He'd walk around for another hour, 30 minutes, whatever, and then we'd go to another bar and he'd have another drink. That's kind of what I perceived it as. Obviously,
That's still pretty unhealthy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you're just bar hopping as a part of your daily routine, bro. That's not cool.
people are gonna have other stories and kind of explain what they've seen from him, whether it be on his tours and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he was controlling it, and he was doing like a very, very good job, and he was still.
Yeah, I mean, if he's still coherent, still living his life, sure, but that amount of alcohol consumption can really do damage to a person's liver, especially if it's on a daily basis.
Coherent, I didn't notice anything out of the blue.
Suffice to say, the Masshole channel has a rather flowery view of Josh's alcoholism, although admittedly finding out how bad his drinking is kind of hard. Given the statements by his customers, we know it's pretty bad, but without concrete numbers, it's hard to tell if he's, like, pretty degenerate alcoholic or on the verge of
just,
death.
yeah.
But as luck would have it, we wouldn't be without concrete data for long. As the same month of the doc's release, a channel will be created on TikTok with a clear purpose, to answer the question of just how bad Josh's alcoholism is. The channel is pretty amusingly called World of Alcohol Tracker.
Why the amount of trolls that exist is just crazy.
170,000 followers of its own, pretty much spending its entire time keeping up on Josh's day-to-day activities, with a big focus on keeping track of how much he drinks. This is best exemplified by his very first video, where he notes down every single drink Josh had consumed on camera, calculating that, accounting for loss of blood alcohol level due to sobering up in between drinks, he would have had around 0.21% blood alcohol content level by 8 p.m., having
Jesus Christ.
started drinking around noon. For context, if you blow a 0.8 when you get pulled over, you're probably going to get a DUI. So Josh is at triple that amount. With a slight break following the second video, this guy went on to diligently catalog Joshua's alcohol consumption for every single day from the 31st of October all the way up to January. He even documented a few more relevant metrics, including the amount of money Josh would spend on drinks and even the amount of calories consumed. The channel got a shocking amount of attention, especially
But the amount of damn 2.3 million. But the amount of time and effort it takes to do that, people really do not have a life.
considering that it really hasn't been around that long and is like a niche account.
Impressive,
following a relatively
nonetheless.
niche person in the grand scheme of things, just covering his alcohol addiction. It's such a small area of anything to focus on, and it blew up, which if anything shows just how fascinated people are with the world of t-shirts.
True.
Less than 2 weeks after posting his first video, he posted another breakdown, which ended up netting him over 2 million views. And in that video, he concluded that throughout the 8th of November 2023, Josh got to a blood alcohol level of around 0.22, paid roughly $25, and consumed around.
Bro, 0.22 is bizarre. You're looking at almost 3 times legal limit.
2,300 calories. For those who don't know, 2,300 calories is around what an average male his age would eat in a day, and he was consuming that in alcohol alone. The whole channel serves as a stark reminder of just how bad Josh's addiction has gotten. And given that he hits at least 0.2 across pretty much all these videos, it's clear that this man is drinking himself into an early grave. This new perspective on Josh led to a lot of attention being brought back to the World of T-Shirts channel, which was largely negative. While most had always been vaguely aware of his problem,
bro, that's not healthy. Like, I was starting to lose interest a little bit, but bro, I can't ignore that aspect of it, bro. Someone needs to talk to this guy,
these videos
especially
opened a lot
since
of
this is
people's eyes to
recent.
just how bad the problem was. Conversely, Josh and Michael would both end up learning about the tracker. According to the tracker himself, Michael came out against him, arguing he was sending people to Josh who would actively encourage him to drink more. Tracker dismissed that idea wholesale, arguing the only people encouraging it are people
What?
from Michael's side of things, which is definitely true.
I'm not here to physically help Josh anymore. I'm just here to leverage his account and his content to help people. I've gotten hundreds of messages validating that people are drinking less because of this content, are more mindful about their drinking, and I think this is all great positive reinforcement that this content is helping people.
Yeah, he's never claiming to be like, he's made his whole channel to help Josh. He's just making it to help those who have addictions with drinking.
People. So I'm so happy for that. I'm happy for all of you guys. And as MQ says in this clip, my viewers or community are the ones telling Josh, oh, you need to get to 16, you need to break a new personal record. Those people are from his own community, and they have been the ones from day one of his drinking career on TikTok. They're the ones egging him on.
Regardless of what Michael Quinn might want us to believe, everyone knew that Josh had a problem, regardless of the tracker's presence. Things are really put into perspective when we reach...
Yeah, it's like, this is a problem that is only being highlighted. This person's not starting the problem. This is just proof that the problem exists.
The end of 2023, with an update for December 31st. In it, he gives a breakdown for the whole day. But the really interesting part comes later when he looks back over the entire month of December. According to his study, we find out Josh has spent around $1,500 on alcohol, with an average blood alcohol level at around 0.08, which, once again, is when you get a DUI. He would only spend 34% of the month sober, being at least slightly drunk 64% of the time, above driving limit for 40% of the time, and blackout drunk about 9% of the time. From this, he would also draw an average for the entire year, asserting that throughout 2023, Josh would have spent around
$18,000 on alcohol alone.
Alcohol and consumed 575,000 calories from drinking alone. Frankly, though, while the tracker undoubtedly did really good work, it's really hard to see this having much of an effect. The truth is that Josh is showing no signs of changing at all. And pretty much for the whole last year, he's been stuck.
Because it's the whole, it's easy to lead a horse to the river, but you can't make the horse drink the water, or whatever the actual saying is. But you can't force someone to stop. You can present all the data to their face. You can show them that you love them and that you care for them. You can put them through extensive, rehabilitation programs. But at the end of the day, if they do not want to change, you cannot make them. They have to want it for themselves.
Groundhog Day, doing the same thing over and over again to an audience of people who, for the most part, couldn't really care less what happens to him. This is best exemplified when you look at his channel today. While he still gets respectable views, compounded by the fact that he releases up to a dozen videos in a single day, the comment sections are universally filled with either trolls who want him to drink more, or people referencing the tracker who, while not being fans of him, do care enough to at least say that he should stop.
I have never seen you enjoy a drink. Josh, you don't have to drink beer if you don't like, right, like, I don't know, man.
We live in a time when pretty much anyone can get famous for anything, and there's no better example of this than TikTok. The number of absolute degenerates who gain popularity just for that is...
And the thing is, that's literally why it was created. It's all a distraction technique by the Chinese.
Uncountable. Given that, it shouldn't be a surprise that Joshua Block has found so much success. For all of his faults, one can't deny his achievements. He managed to turn his status as a lolcow into a little career, and to this day he makes enough money to fund his very expensive drinking
18 bans a year on alcohol, bro. That money can be like
habit, but that's simultaneously the tragedy of it. He's always encouraged to continue this self-destructive behavior with no regard for how it affects his mental and physical health because it keeps getting views. In that, it's hard to feel anything but pity for this guy. Despite his flawed personality, the truth is that he's not nearly as bad as many other people on the platform, and frankly, he is literally autistic. Like, this guy kind of needs help, and it's not from Michael Quinn. To see him self-destruct in such a spectacular fashion is pretty heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I can't predict what will happen to the guy, but personally, I do hope he gets better at some point, and the first step to that is probably him getting off of TikTok.
Yeah,
That's
man.
gonna happen. I wouldn't speak confidently either way. I've been Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
And until next time, leave me alone. I mess with that. Hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead, as you just saw, subscribe to Turkey Tom. I'm turning all of the notifications on, leave a like on the video. This was an absolute banger, man. Get over here. Get over here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Turkey Tom, he's known for doing these documentary style videos. They always turn out really good, and I always really enjoy them. So again, if you haven't already, head over to Turkey Tom's page, subscribe to his channel. He does deep dives into a lot of like parts of the internet that you wouldn't generally know about and talk about. And so that's why I wanted to start stream with one of his videos that I missed out on. He dropped this about a month ago, and I think he's released either 1 or 2 videos since that I've already watched, so I'm not going to react to them again, you know, but I hadn't seen this one, so I went back and watched it, and I loved it, and I was loved even more that I was able to enjoy it on live stream. I actually do have about an hour or so left of time that I have until I have to go. Me and my girl are about to go get some seafood boil with her families and whatnot, so but I did have a few other videos lined up that I was interested in watching for the evening before I went to go eat. So, I mean, I might as well switch over. We're going to switch focus now, and this video is called Visiting the Most Crowded Island on Earth. It is by a channel called Ruhi Cenet. I had never heard of him until I saw this video pop up on my YouTube like timeline thing. This guy has 8.39 million subscribers, so you know we're not talking about some no name here. It's just someone that I was unaware of. I will hit the subscribe button if I enjoy this video, but let's switch back over to the reaction screen, and he's gonna be basically describing his experience with Santa Cruz del Isolet, which is how I believe it's pronounced. I may be butchering that a little bit. It's an area of, it says in the description here, just 1% of a square kilometer in size, where 816 people squeezed their entire lives onto this one island. So let me go full screen, and let's go check this out together, because I always really enjoy like learning about stuff like this, and because I had no idea this place existed, obviously, so now it's going to be like, what is life like there?
Where 816 people squeeze their entire lives. The island is so full that a guy does his daily workout routine near a dog feces and
that's fucking disgusting.
Chaotic life here creates new adaptations.
Hey, yo, what the bro? Alright, bro, the beginning of this video is masterfully done, okay? He is really good at capturing attention.
On the island, we've been constantly encountering people no matter where we turn. People come out from every corner. It's impossible to be alone.
How do you live like this, though? Like, just every... bro, like, I'm not even gonna lie, living with one person, for me, has its own challenges at times, because it's like, sometimes you want everything to just belong to you and no one else be in your space. And I'm sure it's the same thing for my partner. Like, so imagine 800 plus people fit into 1% of a, what do you say, 1% of a square mile or square kilometer?
Each house here has dozens of people living together in tiny rooms.
How many people live in this room?
About 10.
This is an average...
Bro, that is the size of like my bathroom. You said 10 people live in there?
Room of an average house. You will be shocked when you see how other people live. But these people have a much bigger problem than these houses, which makes life so extremely terrible here. Welcome to the most densely populated...
Bro, honestly, just the fact that they're still alive is impressive.
...island on Earth. A 2-hour boat ride away from the mainland of Colombia, the island is just a little bigger than a football field in size and has a density of 68...
Bro. For those that are watching, I need you to understand the gravity of what he just said. For Americans, a soccer field, or, you know, and then because I'm pretty sure that's what he meant by football. He doesn't seem to be an American. So when they say football, they mean soccer. Think of a soccer field, right? 800 people packed onto a soccer field. When 2 teams play against each other on a soccer field, it's 11 v 11. That's 22 people. 40 times that. That's 80 soccer teams playing on one soccer field. Imagine that, and that's how these people are living. What the hell?
8,000 people per square kilometer. Even in Hong Kong, known as one of the most densely populated cities in the world, this rate is 6,749. There are only 4 streets, and the place is entirely constructed of concrete. They don't have cars or motorcycles here. We feel the density as soon as we step onto the island. The sounds of people, roasters, waves, and music all mix together.
Everything mixes. The smells, the sound, the sight, it all blends together. It's one cramped space.
Homes here tell the story of the island. Let's get inside one now.
Can we see inside your house?
Yes, you may. See, I don't have anything. Sorry, it's a little dark inside. We don't have electricity here.
You can see that they have some laundry work in the hallway and they leave them to dry in this open area. Let's start with this room. Homeowner says 10 people share these 3 beds together.
How is that even possible for a sustained amount of time?
This is my room.
How many people sleep on that bed?
3.
What about this room?
She is not allowing us to enter this room as it's too unorganized.
Kids used to sleep here. Since it is too hot, we take the mattresses out of the room because there is no electricity.
I mean, they're making do with what they have. You can never discredit that. They're making do with what they have. You have to respect that.
7 kids are living in this room alone.
Jesus.
They're making use of every bit of space, even the walls. Because they don't own a wardrobe, their clothes, shoes are all over the place. The kitchen is far from being clean because of the water shortage.
And it's so crazy because whenever you see videos like this, like somehow people still find a way to have a smile on their face, to find a way to enjoy life, find a way to bolster culture, even when financially you're not there. You know, or your civilization even is not developed as a whole. People will find a way to find happiness in any situation, and it's so inspiring.
People use water only for drinking. All other reasons have to be disregarded.
Nah,
Almost any time on the streets we see laundry hung
Bro, that child was
up or just left lying around. Some barbers at work. Chairs spilling out of homes. Children constantly running up and down. 220 families live in houses illegally built. Here, permission is not obtained from any authority, and no one is officially a landowner.
What?
Everybody builds their houses wherever they want.
That's
when they
not
can't find any
okay.
space, they build on top of existing buildings. The buildings are so intertwined that sometimes they have to walk through each other's homes to
I'm saying eventually when you run out of space to go this way, you can only go this way. Like they're just gonna have to start building on top of each other until things become so unstable that it all comes toppling down. Like that's not okay,
to the
bro.
other side. As we get to know islanders more and more, we will discover a very different reason why their future is going to get even worse.
The
Population
water.
density defies all logic. We see dishes and leftovers
So, yeah, not the water. He's right. Garbage. There's no waste removal, right?
everywhere, and this dog is trying to eat the crumbs left on the spoon. Some people are fishing, others selling food on street corners, and some working on construction. A few are trying their luck with a lottery machine brought to the island, dreaming of becoming rich. As this
Okay. All right. That is absolutely fucking absurd. Why? In a place that is this starved and neglected financially and deprived of all progress even, or an attempt at becoming even considered anywhere close to a developed nation of any sort, would you drop a lottery machine there to take away from those who already don't have money?
this all happens, there's a birthday celebration, and the
Despicable.
party sounds can be heard everywhere. People are striving for comfort in their little space.
Is this her own house or is she on a rent?
My own house.
What is the average rent here?
There are some who pay rent because there are people who are not from here. They pay $50 to $75. Usually the only utility they pay for is electricity.
There is a crowded family here.
That's cheap.
They gave the second floor to their married children so that they can stay there.
It seems they have a communal life here.
For you to have a better understanding how small this island really is, I came to the furthest side of it, and I will walk to the other side. And while doing that, I'll start a timer. Let's see how many minutes it will take.
We're trying to find our way among the maze-like narrow streets. Privacy is impossible here because with every step we pass through someone's life. Kids dominate this island's population, even a space of 4 or 5 steps.
Jesus Christ, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like, it's so wild to imagine that, like, no matter where you go, there's gonna be someone who you 90 times out of 10, 90 times out of 10, 90 times out of 100, you don't know that person. That's horrifying, bro.
Turns into a vast playground in the imagination of these children. Island has 1 school, 1 church, 1 clinic, 1 hotel, 1 restaurant, and 3 markets. 200 years ago, none of these streets, this chaos, garbage, mosquitoes, and the people were here. According to a legend, some fishermen discovered this island and spent the night here when it was too late to return. Then they decided to settle here with their families after sleeping well without mosquitoes. It was later artificially enlarged by compressing coral rocks, seashells, and waste year after year.
It took less than 2
So it's not even a natural island?
minutes.
We met...
It took him 2 minutes to walk from one side of the island to the other side of the island. 2 minutes. And 800 people live there. Bro, what though?
A 94-year-old lady who witnessed everything here.
Was she born on this island?
She never left, not even a single day.
Fishermen first came from the Baru region. They started to expand the islet, and in 100 years, the islet became like this. There were no motors back then or anything like that. Only small canoes with paddles.
That's pretty cool, dude. She's literally witnessed the growth of an entire, small as it is, community.
If you remember it correctly, when I was born, there was only this house and a few more houses. The rest was nothing.
We are blessed to be located on the world's second largest coral reef with its amazing, amazing sea life. Waves that rise 20 to 30 meters in the open ocean are reduced to merely 25 to 30 centimeters when they reach our shores. Look.
That is pretty sick to think about, bro. The world is such an awe-inspiring place, man.
All that you see around the island, up to 5 or 6 miles off the coast, is surrounded by pure coral. We're safe here.
How many people live here?
That's good. That's what I'm saying. There's always such a positive outlook from people who we look at as being in such a disadvantaged position. And trust me, they are. That's not a great position to live in. They're filled with trash everywhere. There's not enough space for everyone to live a healthy lifestyle. It's very dangerous, and they look literally connected to nothing. They're isolated, which is probably why Isolate is in the name of the actual island. But regardless, they find a way to find some positivity. It's amazing.
2 families live here. Each family consists of 6 members, 12 people in total.
Where is the kitchen?
The kitchen. The stove goes here. That's not a problem. We cook with propane gas.
Dogs can't grow anymore once they hit a certain size because of not getting enough nutrition. Life here is really limited for every creature. Here, we meet the nurse who has helped almost everyone come into the world healthy.
40 years of delivering babies.
That is, see, like, it's only when there's like small amounts of people in a community, in this case underneath 1,000 people, where you have like, you know, one person or one family being the main source of a specific necessary thing to a community, like healthcare, or let's say, the local doctor, the local dentist, the local blacksmith, the local butcher. Like, there'll be families that control those. I kind of find that cool, but after you get larger populations of people, all that sort of disseminates, and you have multiple companies handling multiple different things within different sectors, and yada yada yada.
How many babies?
Oh my goodness, I've lost count. I don't even remember. Most of the youth in this town pass through these hands that you see. I delivered almost everyone on this island.
That's
and now
so
I'm delivering
adorable.
Even their children's children, and I've never.
Dude, she's watching generations of people being born, and not only watching, she's directly responsible for bringing them into this world.
Had
That's
a baby
fire.
die. Little children with vomiting.
She's never had a baby die on her. 100% success rate. That's amazing. I thought she was gonna touch on that and say how hard it is to, maybe not have a delivery happen the way that she wanted it to, or whatever.
High fever or diarrhea come to me. I tell them what to do or which medicine to take. I'm like a doctor. Everyone knows me here.
The lack of modern healthcare services on the island poses a risk in emergency
Facts.
situations. But as you will understand by the end of the video, their real problem is so much more vital. By the way, according to the locals, the average life expectancy on the island is 85 to 90 years.
My sister died at the age of 103.
People get to go beyond these limits only after they lose their lives, because there is no cemetery on this island where people can bury their loved ones, as there is no land to dig. After the corpses are toured around the square with a ceremony,
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that too. How do they handle burials? But they don't. They just ship them off to sea, which is a ritual and a practice that actually a lot of other coastal civilizations have practiced, which is shipping the body off to sea and basically returning it to where life came from, which was from the ocean. Before there were land creatures at all, we all existed in the ocean. Primordial soup, man.
they are then taken to the mainland by a boat and buried there.
What is the average age for girls to get married or have a child?
Typically, girls are 16 years old when they have their first children.
You heard that, America? They're all pedophiles.
This also applies to their children.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Obviously, cultures have different standards of, age and marriage and sex and all those things. Just because they're different doesn't make them what we deem them to be.
There is no family planning, and the population keeps growing
That's
rapidly.
dangerous.
How many kids do people usually have?
Here, from 2 to 5.
Family life here is uniquely laid back. Most of the couples are together without any official marriages. Also, it's
Facts. Wait, hold on. I do that with my girl all the time. Full screen. I don't know. Run it back. The way that he just walked up,
uniquely
I do that
laid
with my
back.
girl all the
Most
time.
of the couples are together without any official marriages. Also, it's not unusual for people to have kids with more than one partner, but that's part of life here.
You hear that, America? It's okay to be. Never mind. My girlfriend might be watching this.
She married?
I have a husband, but I'm not married.
Oh, really?
Which
What? I have a husband, but I am not married. Free union.
means it's all free union.
Also, people don't care about their personal space and joke around all the time.
One of the biggest problems of the island is trash. Some of these will be in the ocean.
Yeah.
Some of these will be sent to the mainland. But you can feel the smell and the amount of mosquitoes wherever you go.
Those are flies. Those are flies, pal. Those weren't mosquitoes. Those are actually flies. Technically. Sorry.
Most of the waste is hidden in the ocean. Without thinking twice, people just throw their loads of garbage into the water, which they see as a dumping ground. Plastics, glass, and metal pieces. But what you will see next...
See, that I can't get behind, but like, what are they gonna do? Like I said, not all of that trash can be collected and shipped to the mainland to be destroyed in a proper way. Like, some of it is not gonna be accessible, unfortunately. Like, it's annoying.
...will make you feel more disgusting. Unbelievably, even a toilet can be found at the ocean floor.
All right,
the crabs
dude.
swimming in this pollution are some of the important food sources for the residents. And these broken cages were used to hunt these animals.
There are some plastic bags in the ocean. People are fishing. These women are washing their clothes.
Yeah, like, see, this is not good, because now you're introducing inorganic human elements into the ocean, destroying the wildlife and the coral reef that you're coveting so much. No.
Life is chaotic here.
Access to electricity and drinking water here varies depending on the weather conditions. Solar panels are here.
This is the way they produce electricity for the island.
We have 380 solar panels and 180 batteries, which gives us energy for everything.
If the weather is sunny, electricity is provided between 12 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Is there something that she wants to change in this island?
Mainly the electricity. Look, today we've been without electricity for 4 days.
All the greens are hot.
You see tomatoes and peppers. Since there isn't enough power, these are not very fresh.
These power generators are working.
Almost everything people need is provided in the 3 markets on this main street, including medicines. This is the trading center of the island.
There's another shop here.
That's kind of scary, though, no? Like, I'm wondering, like, is crime just not really prevalent here? Because this could be a really bad situation if someone just decided, I want to rob someone or whatever. You wouldn't really even, unless they, like, they all know each other. There's only 800 of them.
You can buy some t-shirts and shorts.
We have a lot of wind here. The salt carried by winds damages our devices.
Damn.
The real struggle begins with the obtaining of drinking water, as there is no tap water in here. As you see, they gather the rainwater with these pipes. Not even a single drop of water is wasted.
Damn.
Drinking water? We suffer a lot. There, below the health center, we have a community tank that we call the lung of the island.
Without that, they're screwed, dude. Literally, they're surrounded by salt water that they can't purify to be drinkable water. Holy shit.
When it rains, the joy is so immense here that we go partying that day. Here, the drought scares us so much. It takes 7 to 8 months to get some rain here. We store that precious liquid and then we distribute it to all the families equally without skipping anyone. The Navy sees the problem we have here. They let the mayor's office use their ships so that they could bring us some water.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
This helps a lot.
Now we have some water. All the tanks are full because it has rained.
Also, the island doesn't have any sewage system. Even though rain means good news in terms of water supply, rainfalls are bringing life into the edge of a chaos. Since the enlarged areas of the island...
Look at that. Like, they're literally, like, a few inches from the sea level rising from them being submerged. Bro, no.
Not solid. Hurricanes or a heavy rain makes houses and streets unusable.
What does he not like about this island?
The only bad thing is the rainy season. When it rains, the tide...
So they need the rainy season in order for them to have enough sufficient clean drinking water, but the rainy season also completely destroys them. Jesus Christ.
All these streets are flooded with seawater. More in September and October. During those months, if these houses didn't have these raised floors, the rainwater would enter the rooms.
Keep in mind that they are also without electricity during these seasons.
We are at the heart of Santa Cruz del Islote. This is the only monument on the island, and it is called La Patrona.
Monument protects us from
Patron.
We are inside the small church of this settlement. It seems like it needs some repairing.
Are you the priest? I am the leader. There are many young kids
He's the leader. It's Martin Luther King's son, everybody. Yeah.
on this island. What will their future be like? After they finish primary school, they don't go on to further studies. Their parents don't have the means to send them to the mainland.
So there are 240 students on this island and 12 teachers.
Welcome to the only school on the island.
This is a classroom for the grade 1. Since there is no school in the neighboring islands, students from there also come here, and their school service is of course
what? There's no schools in the neighboring islands, so they come here?
A boat. Every young boy here loves playing soccer, even the girls.
What do you want to become when you grow up?
A soccer player.
Where do they want to play?
In Madrid. The Paris team.
Oh boy. See, that's what's, I don't know, there's such a duality to it. You want young kids to aspire to be professional athletes and, push themselves to the max and whatnot, but only a select few of you, if any, honestly. I've never heard of a player coming from here, so maybe one or two of them will ever actually be a soccer player when their focuses could be elsewhere that are going to be more beneficial to the island itself. But that's kind of selfish to say because then you can't take away from the dreams of a kid. So I'm not saying they shouldn't want to be soccer players. Be what you want to be and strive to be what you want to be. But in terms of your actual community around you, that's not going to help.
In Argentina.
Locals are earning their living by tourism. Qualified as a national park, the island charges
it's qualified. $2.50.
$5 from the tourists for the entrance. With the arrival of these hundreds of tourists every day, a much bigger chaos appears on the streets.
For us, tourists are a blessing from God.
It's kind of a blessing, but these people are just walking through your actual house, just oohing and eyeing. That is not cool.
They are a source of employment, directly or indirectly.
I'm a bartender.
What is the average salary or profit for a person here?
It depends very much on the season. There is a guy who goes diving. If he's lucky, he can make $30 per day. If there are a few tourists, he can only earn $15. A bartender, depending on the tourism season, after expenses and paying workers, can make $50 per day.
That's not enough, bro. Honestly, I'm being genuine about this. Like, if I got to that level of having money to the point where you can, travel routinely and do what you kind of want to do, I would visit places like this with just straight supplies, clothes, all that stuff, but then also money. And I would distribute it evenly to those families that I can identify are the largest families with the most kids that need the help the most. And I would actually make it like a routine thing of me revisiting. And of course I would make content out of it too, because that's the whole point of doing content. But I would make sure that places like this were routinely visited, because this is something where a Mr. Beast could change the entire reality of this place.
Can attract
I'm not saying he should be or whatever. Mr. Beast does way more than enough good to society. I'm not saying he's focused elsewhere. Of course he's solving bigger problems than this place is concerned. But I'm just saying there are other people who are making similar money who could be, who are not.
Here there is an aquarium built for tourists where locals keep fishes, sea turtles, and even sharks in a very limited space. Famous for allowing tourists to swim with these animals, this place significantly contributes to the local economy. Fishing is
That's
very
fire. I
important.
actually went to Florida recently, saw some gators, saw some cool animals and stuff, got a bunch of pictures, went to Magic Kingdom, Epcot. It was pretty lit, man. It was pretty lit.
As well, but the people don't really value what the environment provides for themselves. The islanders now have to import fish because of marine pollution and overfishing.
When you go out fishing, you no longer catch the same amount of fish.
Yeah.
That is to say, right now, the fish in the restaurant
Damn, Blood's nostrils are stuffed.
is brought here from the mainland.
Those who feed roosters are also keen.
That skinny ass rooster.
On cockfight. Every Saturday, some islanders
Oh,
bet their money on these
that's messed
events
up.
and have fun. This is the only hostel of
I do not support the practice of cockfighting. I think it's kind of gay.
Santa Cruz del Islote. Let's go inside. A peaceful atmosphere is created for the tourists here. It looks like a silent shelter in chaos.
Despite this crowd, there is not even a single police that provides security, nor a state of law on the island. Since everybody knows each other here, they don't.
Yo, why he was tooting it up like that?
That provide security.
Like, and then look, ready?
Nor a state of law on the island.
Alright, I'm
Since
done.
everybody knows each other here, they don't need for it.
Look, we have 800 people here and we have no police. So you don't see robberies, muggings, or stabbings.
See, that's what I asked about earlier. How do they manage crime? But like he said, I guess it just doesn't happen. It's just not as prevalent. They don't got time for all that.
Our police here are older adults. We respect them so much here. If there is an argument, a misunderstanding, or a fight, the older adults set in and grab us, find out who is right, and then give us advice. Then we shake hands and keep on being the same brothers and sisters.
That is called respect right there.
With no hard feelings.
Does he have plans to migrate to somewhere else?
I'll spend my entire life on this island. I was born and raised right here. I'm going
That's
to die
fire.
right here.
In the
Yes,
evening,
sir. I love that. That's called nationalism right there.
residents are more active and everywhere is more crowded since the weather cools off. When the sun
Bro. Being like 7 years old and just reaching into a body of water and yanking up a whole full-grown 150-year-old tortoise is crazy.
goes down, the island gets completely dark because there isn't electricity at night. People use candles or flashlights of their mobile phones, which are charged during certain hours to brighten the night. Everyone goes outside of their doorsteps because their houses are very tiny and dark. Besides, there is nothing to do inside of the houses. The darkness never prevents the island's vibrant spirit. There's also a little pub where everyone gathers. Most of the locals drink a lot during the night. We hear Latin music all the time.
I saw kids with bottles
People
just
are
now.
singing and dancing together. Some of them play domino, a very popular game here. And the
I love dominoes, bro. If you're from the Caribbean, you would know all about dominoes. One of my favorite games to play. That and Ludi.
birthday party is still going on. Some of the garbage from this event is already piled up here. Most of these people living in isolation from the rest of the world have never left these boundaries in their entire lives.
That's that's crazy, bro. And most of them said they don't even have electricity, so like they don't have internet, they don't have none of that. They're just completely disconnected from the world. That's crazy.
They have no desire to leave their small world or to strive to improve their living standards with each passing day.
You should. There's a lot that, like, if y'all just doubled this even and just expanded to, like, it probably can't because of how the sand drops off and stuff, but this can be a real nice travel destination if they just made it a little bit easier to move around. Literally, you can't even see roads on this because of how many houses are just packed together.
The island community has a deep bond to their homeland, and they focus on shared happiness and positive values.
The biggest problems of Santa Cruz del Istote are the lack of clean water and insufficient cleaning garbage. Island is not in a position to accommodate more people. Despite all the negatives, people are connected to each other like a big family.
As they should be.
Thank you for watching this documentary. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next one.
I'm not gonna
Ruhi
lie,
Cenet.
man. He earned it. Ruhi Cenet, you earned it, man. I gotta hit that subscribe button, bro, and I'll leave you that like too. Obviously, you know what you're doing. That was a banging documentary, ladies and gentlemen. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. I'll give you some ASMR. Come here. ASMR live. How you guys doing? Is everyone enjoying this? Vance, I know you like this. I know you like when people whisper in your ears. I'm doing it for you, Vance. All right, let me stop. Hey, so that was Ruhi Cenet visiting the world's most crowded island, or the most crowded island on Earth. I can't forget what I saw. Absolutely beautiful documentary, an absolutely banger video. He deserves to subscribe from me, and he deserves it from you too. If you enjoyed that, go over to his channel and subscribe to his content. Shout out to Ruhi Cenet. Lastly, I got a little bit of time left before I got to head out, so I wanted to discuss the fights tonight. Tonight at around 10 p.m., UFC 299 will be taking place, and the main event is Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera, who is actually the only person who currently has a W gang over Sean O'Malley. Damn, that's crazy. Over Sean O'Malley when he had a foot injury in the middle of the fight, couldn't stand up properly, got mauled. I really do think Sean is going to absolutely starch Marlon this time. Let me go back over to the reaction screen. We're going to take a look at the fight card real quick. So obviously the fight card will be starting tonight at 10 p.m. and the main event is going to be Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. I think that's going to be an absolutely banger of a fight. I think that when it comes to Sean O'Malley, he always has this air of invincibility to him while he's in there, and he has that dynamic right hand that can always change the results of a fight. Marlon Vera, I think, is a more well-rounded fighter than Sean O'Malley. The only problem that I'm seeing that could present itself for O'Malley is that if there's wrestling that he can't handle or anything like that, he might struggle. But hey, Kit Boga just uploaded. Hey, scammers get scammed, man. If you don't know who Kit Boga is, you gotta learn. But the only problem I can see O'Malley running into is if there's some adversity that he faces on the wrestling or grappling front. I'll only counter myself then by saying that if Aljamain Sterling was not able to take down Sean O'Malley properly, I doubt Marlon Vera is going to be able to. So for me, I got Sean O'Malley winning the main card. And then in the second fight, the co-main event, we got the Diamond Dustin Poirier going up against Benoit Saint Denis. And I see this as a really, really easy win for Dustin Poirier. Probably just like a bounce back fight for him after what Justin Gaethje just did to my guy, because Justin Gaethje kicked his head off of his shoulders, and he's got to bounce back from that. It's a number 12 guy he's fighting, and he's at number 3. Very big disparity there between the two of them, but ultimately it's going to come down to whether or not Dustin Poirier is still up to it after that last knockout. I still got Dustin Poirier winning. So for now, we got main event O'Malley, co-main event Dustin Poirier. A welterweight bout is the third fight. I'm doing this kind of out of order, but it doesn't matter. The third fight is Kevin Holland versus Michael Page Venom, and Michael Venom Page, MVP. Michael Page is known for his Bellator fights, really, 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 really big in terms of his pulling power for fans. He knows for having some like showmanship and knocking people out. But then he recently, got knocked out himself in a very, very funny way. So it's kind of shows the duality of what happens when you're that type of fighter and you show off a lot. It's kind of like Johnny Walker, someone we already have in the UFC, who showboats too much and then either gasses or gets caught clean and looks like an idiot. But Michael Page is still a deadly person to run into in the octagon, and for sure is going to be a huge competition for the world-renowned shit talker Kevin Holland, who we all know, man, he's always mouthing off in the ring. He's always talking, always moving and dancing. He's got great handwork, but sometimes he can get too ahead of himself with the talking and get distracted from the fight. Huge. This is going to be a big fight. It's going to be a fight of showmanship. Both of these guys talk their shit, show up, do their showmanship, but can still scrap, put on a show for us. All the fights tonight are just going to be huge. Number 4, we got Gilbert Burns going up against Jack Della Maddalena. Number 4 versus number 11. Gilbert Burns lost of his most recent fight, I believe, although his fights are always debatable because Gilbert Burns is one of the greatest fighters on the planet. I think he's going to steamroll Jack. I really think this should be an easy fight for Gilbert Burns, and it shouldn't be much of a competition. And then Petr Yan facing off against Sang Yadong, a huge fight at the bantamweight division for the UFC, because Petr Yan, after his whole, Aljamain Sterling taking the belt from him really kind of spun his career a little bit. So he really, really needs to get back in form, and a win against Sang Yadong is going to be huge. And if Sang Yadong is able to get the win over Petr Yan, then we know where that's going to go. So far, I think winners-wise, I've got Sean O'Malley winning, Dustin Poirier winning, Kevin Holland winning, Gilbert Burns winning, and Petr Yan winning. So I'm all left right now. I move with the lefts, call me Chef G, because everybody on the left-hand side right now I have winning for the main card. And the only fight that I'm really, really going to be interested in, or I'll say the only 2 fights, are going to be Curtis Blade versus Jailton Almeida, because Curtis Blades is an absolute phenomenon. And a phenom to watch in the heavyweight division for the UFC. And then Mateus Gamrot and Rafael Dos Anjos are going to be fighting. Rafael Dos Anjos is obviously a legend in the UFC, and Mateus Gamrot has been on a run. He's number 6 at lightweight, and if he is to beat Rafael Dos Anjos, it can only add to the hype that he's trying to build as he pushes to be a part of those top 5 in the lightweight division. So those are going to be 2 other fights that are going to be really cool to watch. I will be watching them tonight. I might not be able to stream it because you're not able to share the video or the audio, so it'll kind of just be me talking over it. And I don't know if that's that enjoyable, so I might just watch it by myself, have some drinks, chill with my girl, and watch it. But this is going to be an absolutely banging fight card. But I am going to be wrapping up stream now, so come back over here. Get over here, get over here, get over here. This was an absolute pleasure. I just want to say this was unexpected on my behalf. I kind of wanted to just see if my new setup was able to fully support a stream and run without any lag or anything. And, excuse me, let me wipe my mouth. I like I have fucking cum on my lips. Pause. Okay, but like I was saying, I just wanted to try this out because I had a few hours before I had to go do something, and I wanted to see if my setup was able to fully support a stream. I really like how this went, very smooth, never had any dropped frames. I'm running at about 2 gigabytes per second right now, so you know, it's doing really, really good. Everything seems smooth. I had Vance in the chat here and there. I am going to get better at having chat up while I'm doing the stream so that if there are other viewers who comment, I can see what people are saying. But again, it was an absolute pleasure. And as always, I want to leave you guys with a bit of positivity, as I always like to do. So what I would like to say to you today is I hope that whatever goal you had for yourself that you set for today was accomplished and it makes you feel like a good person today. And if you haven't already, go ahead and set a goal for yourself for tomorrow that will make you proud of the person that you are tomorrow. And with that being said,